Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. I have some exciting news. I have actually partnered up with BUSR Sportsbook, and we have an amazing limited time offer just for you. If you're into gambling, check this out. They have a sign up 150% bonus. That's right. It's only for 24 hours after you sign up. But if you make a deposit within that 24 hours, you'll get a 150% bonus. Put in $100, you get $150. Put in $1,000, you'll get an additional $1,500, up to $2,500. Now check this out. It's not just football because, we're dealing with the playoffs and Super Bowl right now. It goes well beyond just that. We're talking about football, basketball, baseball, hockey, more. Hell, I heard that like in The Sopranos that they would gamble on 2 cockroaches running up the wall. But no, in all seriousness, they even have live in-game betting as well. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. To take advantage of this, check out the description. I'll have a clickable link in there, and I'll also pin it into the tab. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys, and go Cowboys. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies. I see Angelica Baron's already in the house, and Ruben Walls, and Game Time Brian's up in here. And of course, I got my man Mike Thompson right here, which is kind of funny because 2 of my best friends from high school was Mark Thompson and Mike Burt. So it's kind of like a combination of the two. But one other thing to add on to that BUSR gambling app, okay? I found out they actually have casino games. And see, I love blackjack. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and start playing a little bit of blackjack because that's kind of like my passion. But right now, until the February 6th date, so you got a couple of days, you got 2 more days. If you're thinking about dropping some money on the Super Bowl and things like that, that offer, that 150% offer is there. But there's also an added bonus for the next 2 days, and that is they will pick randomly a person to get an extra $1,000 bet. So go ahead, get signed up, and do it today. The link is in the description here on my channel, and we're getting ready for the Senior Bowl. Mike, how you doing? You're the first one in the house. Appreciate you being a channel member and being here. What's going on, man?
Not a lot. It is what it is. I'm just sitting here chilling, enjoying life like we all should do. Mm-hmm. And I'm also taking a moment to maybe share some thoughts about our Cowboys and the football and maybe the Super Bowl this year. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to bitch though. I think I'm going to ride Mark's wave here and say, hey, okay, we had a decent year. I mean, you can't really complain about our record. Mike McCarthy, he may not be the coach we wanted, but guess what? He's done a really good job. He really has, and my hat goes off to him and his staff. Dan Quinn, everybody's questioning his desire to stay in Dallas. You know what? My hat goes off to him too, because he has made a difference for my defense. Mm-hmm. The fact that he wants to stay and he doesn't want to, I don't know why anybody would want to question that. I think that some people do have heart. They don't want to just go punch into their time clock and go pretend like they care about the situation. I mean, maybe this guy actually really cares. Mm-hmm. And I find that to be admirable. And yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful day out here in Colorado. Loving it. Family's good. Life is really good. So yeah. How about you, Mark?
What's the temperature like for you out there in Colorado? Because I'm just curious.
Right now, as we sit, I'm at a 56 degrees with sunny skies.
Well, damn. I was talking to Mike J, who's up New England area and stuff, and it was minus 39 wind chill he was sending to me yesterday, and it's just like, it is really cold. In fact, I heard that it was so cold that the thermometers weren't able to read the minus. After you get to minus 100, that's where the thermometers end. And they were saying that some of the wind chills were below that. So, I mean, this is like, end of days type cold up in there. And you're out there in Colorado at 56. What the hell is going on with this world? So
I don't know. It's just it's one of those days you want to take advantage of it. And because we've had our minus degrees up here too, and I live up on the mountain, I kind of consider I'm still a homesteader. Mm-hmm. We got a lot going on. I got a big future plan for the family, but we've been out here for 3 years now, and and it's beautiful. I love being a Cowboy fan right in the middle of all these Bronco maniacs.
There you go. Okay.
It really yeah, you can see my back window here.
I see it. I see you got the Cowboys chain on too.
Yeah. And it's a little worn, if you notice right there in the middle. I'm wondering if people ain't maybe taking some pop shots,
Oh, there you go. If you are a channel member and you want to join the chat in the community tab, the link is there for channel members only. So come on in and join us. I see Game Time Brian. He's probably out delivering the mail and stuff because that's what he does. I see Angelica. What's up, Angelica Baron?
Hello, everybody. By the way,
Roy, I'm with you, Roy. I think we're all sad and mad that the Cowboys lost against the 49ers. But, if we all get rational about it and really honestly look at it, I know people will just go ahead and point at Dak and they'll say, you're just a Dak lover, a Dak defender, and, Dak sucks and we need to replace him. But I actually was working on something before the stream came on. Because everybody's focused now on Dak Prescott's interceptions, right? He had the 15 interceptions this year. You know that Brett Favre had like 7 years of over 20 in his career? That Peyton Manning, his first 5 years, he was never below 18.
He still won Super Bowls too.
Yeah, well, he didn't actually win his first Super Bowl until year 8.
True.
And I was sitting here looking at it because here's the thing, they constantly a lot of the anger I think we have as Cowboy fans is because of what we hear so much. They literally stir up the crowd. You know how you get the mob mentality? So you get out here and you get all these people that we're upset because we lose a game and we're not actually thinking rational. But we hear, the guys out here that are saying, well, your quarterback, he's throwing all these interceptions. It's like, which is true. But think about this for a second. If there was something else negative that Dak Prescott was doing, don't you think that they would be saying it? Don't you think they would be touting all of the things that he's doing wrong? But the only thing they can focus in on is interceptions? Right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's interesting. I was looking at it today, and if you go by the amount of touchdown passes per game, this is what the quarterback's doing. Davis Mills, who we're comparing Dak Prescott to, averages about 1.1 touchdown passes a game. So if he's getting an interception and he's only throwing one touchdown pass, that's not good. The leader in the NFL in touchdown passes per game is Pat Mahomes at 2.4. Next would be Joe Burrow and Josh Allen at 2.1. Right? That's good. Every week they're throwing like 2 touchdown passes. You got guys like Aaron Rodgers who's at like 1.4, Tom Brady at like 1.3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think Dak Prescott is? He's ass. He sucks. Right?
I don't think he sucks that. There's no way he sucks that bad.
He's 4th at 1.9. So he literally is throwing 2 touchdown passes on average every week. He's 4th. You got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Pat Mahomes, followed by Josh Allen and Burrow, tied, and then it's Dak Prescott.
And that's quite a group to be rated against. If you think about it.
Okay, so you got a guy who can throw touchdown passes, right? Now think about it. Noah Brown is your number 2. Clifford Franklin. What if you were able to get actually, let's say let's shoot for the moon and say you were able to trade for Stephon Diggs to go with CeeDee Lamb. Do you think that touchdown percentage would go up? Having another really good weapon to throw to?
Well, I'll bet you his touchdown percentage was better last year when we had Amari.
It was. Oh, without a doubt. But the fact that you lost that receiver, because think about this now. Aaron Rodgers had 37 TDs last year. He was like he was like Pat Mahomes was last year with Devontae Adams. So he goes from 37 TDs to 23, losing Devontae Adams. 37 to 23. That's a major drop, and that's where talent matters. We can go ahead and say Dak sucks, but and everybody's saying go get Aaron Rodgers. Do we honestly think Aaron Rodgers, if we automatically put him here, that he's going to do better than what we're already doing when he had a similar situation there with Green Bay? And my whole thing is, to me, it seems like it's easier to get offensive linemen that are good. It's easier to get wide receivers that are good than to get a quarterback that's better. They're few and far between. I mean, if you could say we can get Pat Mahomes, for Dak Prescott straight up, I'm doing that all day. As much as I love Dak Prescott, I'm just doing that. But you can't do that. It doesn't work that way.
And you can't cast the whole blame on it, because especially if you have any knowledge or any love for the sport at all, and mind you, I believe this to go both offensively and defensively. It is one in that trench. If we don't have the guys that are able to protect, to plow, and to do it, and they don't even have to do it all the time, but they do have to have some consistency, some unification as a line. Without it, you're going to lose many battles, and that includes the interceptions from Dak. Dak, he's relying on these guys, to cover his blind side. He's relying on them to be able to, almost as if he was to toss the ball blindfolded, because he does trust his receivers and he trusts his ability. But that trench, that line is almighty important.
Let me say hello to the Queen is here. Queen Bella, what's up? And of course, Paula Bettis.
Say hello to the girls, Mark.
What's up? How are we doing? Hey, how are y'all doing?
This is my buddy Mark Holmes, you guys.
3 girls.
Yep, this is Snowy.
Goodness. Okay.
This is Mariah, and this is Angel Rain.
Hello, everybody. And where's the lovely bride?
Yeah, I got a son too. He's a diehard Cowboy fan. He'll be 15 here just in a week or so.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. I'm a pretty lucky guy, Mark. Pretty
he
blessed.
leads the NFL in interception with at least 5 games. Yes, A.J. Brown, he does. But here's the thing. With that, he's also one of the highest as far as touchdown passes in a game. So it's not that interceptions are bringing down every other statistic, because if you've got a team that's scoring 32 points, whether they have interceptions or not, they're still scoring 32 points. The problem we have, Norlena Davies, what's up, Norlena? The problem we have is, I think there's a couple of problems.
Those are beautiful.
When you get to playoffs, it's a totally different animal. It's a totally different animal, and I honestly believe that Kellen Moore's sphincter muscle, just like Jason Garrett, shrinks up when it comes to playoff times.
There you go.
Okay? I'm going to mute you there for a second here while we're talking.
All right.
Okay, you got the family in. Okay. But I think part of the problem is their sphincter muscle tightens up.
Interrupting his
and coming
live stream a little bit there. He's been great, man. We've actually we sat here and I was wondering if he was going to let me in. I was like,
okay. Actually, I thought I did mute you. Okay. How do let's see where.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Mark.
Okay.
I don't want to interfere with your studio there, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to let you go about your business there.
Come on back in a little bit then there, buddy.
That sounds really good.
Okay.
You take care.
All right, peace out. Okay, so if you are a channel member, we do have the link in the description so you can join in and be part of this as well. Queen Bella, how are you doing today? But listen, I believe, honestly, that the sphincter muscle, here comes game time. Here comes game time. But I honestly believe that part of our problem is Kellen Moore's got no experience in the playoffs. He doesn't know what it feels like to win a playoff game. Are we honestly looking and saying that guy is calm, cool, and collective? No, he's not. And in the playoffs.
You want to go?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Want to go?
Yeah, playoffs. You got to have your stuff together and to be able to run the football. And as much as we're talking about how good Jalen Hurts is, let me ask this question. Did we think that Jalen Hurts was elite last year? Did we look and say, Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in football? He's an MVP. because he wasn't. We threw 2 picks against Tampa Bay. But here's what the Philadelphia Eagles did to their credit. They said, we're going to help him. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put great players around him. And you can look, honestly, let's be honest here. Where do you look at our team and say, we are markedly better than the Eagles are right now, talent? Seriously. Seriously. They got a better offensive line. They do. As much as we want to say we have a great offense, we don't. We don't. We are in the process of starting over. Zach Martin, all-pro. Tyron Smith, gone 12 games and then having to play a new position. Terrence Steele was playing good, got hurt midway through the season. Biotish played better than he had, but he's not Travis Frederick. Connor McGovern, bro. Connor McGovern. And then we had a rookie playing tackle. Win rate. That means how many times you were better than the defense against the pass rush. We were rated 28th in the NFL. And in case you don't understand, that's the far end of the bottom. Okay? That's not good. Not in comparison to the Kansas City Chiefs that are number 1. That they're the best team at protecting the quarterback, of giving him more time. The Eagles, between run blocking and pass blocking, numero uno in football. And unless you believe that offensive lines mean nothing in football, then you don't understand football. Because everything starts from the lines and goes out. Offensive line, defensive line. That's the way it goes. He's also soul-searching and built himself within. Brian Harding. What's up, Brian? Long time no see. Who are we talking about? You need a quarterback that doesn't get outplayed by somebody who's making $900K. Vlad the Impaler, bro, I look at that team with the weapons that they had around them and say they just had better weapons. They make a difference. When we talk about interceptions, are we counting the interception Noah Brown flips the ball up in the air and we lose? Are we? Is that Dak Prescott's fault when he threw a perfect pass into the wide receiver's hands and he has Butterfingers and Clifford Franklin in it and kicks it up in the air and it's a pick six? That's the quarterback's fault? You mean you're telling me that if you get Aaron Rodgers there and he throws the same pass that now Noah Brown's going to catch it? Is that the case? Because that's your whole premise. And what's up? Game time. I swear. Damn.
What up?
Every time I see you in your studio, it's like it's growing. That shit looks.
I came a little closer for the people. I see Angelica in the house, so
what the hell?
I'm zoomed in a little bit. What's going on?
I got to do some shit to my place because my shit's looking old.
Nah, you're good, man. I got rid of some of the newer jerseys that don't deserve to be on my wall yet. Until they step up. But I heard you talking. So are you excited about this game or what? I mean, Dallas had a lot of their picks last year all came from the Senior Bowl. So,
and one thing that people aren't talking about too much now too is we also have 3 compensatory picks.
Yeah.
Which I think is it a 5th and 2-6, or is it a 4th and 2-6?
Well, we're gonna get probably 2 5s. It all depends what these teams pay our free agents, but we'll probably get 2 5s. We lost the 6 in the Hankins trade, but we'll get another 6 back in compensation. So we're going to end up with 3 5s probably, maybe a 4, maybe 2 4s, but we're going to end up with our 5 and 2, compensatory 5s as well as a compensatory 6, most likely. So it's a lot of firepower. So what up, iRock? How you doing, man? How do I sound?
Wait, you sound good.
All right, good.
Much better. I want to say San Francisco has the most, which is 4, because they still They get the one for McDaniels being a minority hire, which is huge. The Rams are getting 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. They're getting 4. We are getting 1 in the 4th and 2 in the 6th because of Randy Gregory, Connor Williams, Cedric Wilson. So that's what it looks like we'll have. Now, here's the problem. you know Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, they like a bargain. They like a value, right? You know, they like the draft. So if you go all in free agency, you're not getting those comp picks.
No. Well, that's the thing. They like to wait until after the deadline is. So, you know, whoever they do sign, they don't get a comp pick.
They're not necessarily getting primo players.
Exactly. That's, you know, they're already starting to. This is already starting off like it was last year. They're already coming out.
It's not the right way to go through. If you miss.
Did you hear what he said about the Eagles? And I saw Twiz in here earlier. So if he's still in here,
he's always in here. Man, he'll
get a kick out of this.
Debating about just making a room in my house for Twiz because he's literally here.
Well, he's actually like a respectable guy. So we're cool. But Jerry came out and said, well, the Eagles went all in. I got news for you, Jerry. They're sitting better with the salary cap than you are.
And have more picks.
So he obviously either doesn't know or is not speaking the truth.
Well, this is where Mike, can you hit the remote because that's correct. But this is where you wonder because when you hear Stephen Jones say that Zeke hasn't lost a step, are you trying to tell us that?
Yeah, I'm as big a Zeke fan, but I think we all could see that.
Yeah.
He'll have a burst here or there.
That's where you're either incompetent and don't actually understand football if you actually believe that Zeke Elliott's the same guy he was 4 years ago.
Well, I know I could already see that people are going to hate my point of view here, but just listen to me here. With all the needs that we have, and I think if that running back out of Texas is there at 26, he has no business to be there, Mark.
Well, neither did CeeDee Lamb.
Business. Huh?
Neither did CeeDee Lamb for us.
But I'm saying he has no business to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a generational running back. His draft grades are going to be higher than Zeke, higher than Saquon. I mean, if he's there at 26, then he's going to be the best guy on the board. He's a top 10 talent. Now, do I think we should take a running back in a top 10? No. But if we're picking 26.
But we're not in the top 10.
But we're not in the top 10. We're at 26. And I hear say, well, let's go for need. This is where we get ourselves in trouble. You take the best talent. And if there's 3 or 4 guys in that area and they're close, their tags are close, then then go for need. But that running back is no joke.
Damn, that's a nice running back right there. Okay, now I have truth in advertising.
Who is this? Rodriguez? Who is this? Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Truth in advertising. I will tell y'all, I do not watch college football.
That's Evan Hall right there.
So understand, I am at the learning curve, and I am definitely watching this. These guys for the first time, getting to know them. But I will start doing more.
Unless we have no jobs, we have to rely on people who see these people and take their information. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know, all these guys, but I do this. I started some homework on them, and I got some highlighted guys. We'll see, man.
Nice catch, nice pitch and throw.
Yeah, did you hear Jerry? Who's starting for the national team on the quarterback? Is it?
I can't see shit with my old eyes.
Yeah,
I've got the sound down.
I just got to see his helmet. I got the name. But Jerry loves him some a TCU quarterback, Max Duggan or Duggan.
He came out the 9th rated prospect, I believe.
Yeah, well,
he's 6'2", about 210 pounds. He's wiry.
He's wiry. And they're talking about we want. I don't like how they're coming out and talking so much. I don't know about you, but whenever Dallas comes out in the media and says, well, we're going for this, we're going for that, it never ends well. It's not good business. Keep your mouth shut.
Well, that's, the whole thing about it, if you're talking about Odell, Okay, is that making it easier to negotiate with Odell that he thinks that you want him there? It doesn't. Well,
No,
you know
it
what?
does
You know
not.
what? I honestly feel a couple of things. I'm having kind of a evolution on how I feel about the season. I think I've gotten away far enough now that actually I'm remembering where we were here last year after losing to San Francisco, and remembering, the paternity suit, remembering the debacle of Randy Gregory, remembering how we felt when we were the laughingstock of getting rid of Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick, and then seeing the Eagles at the draft, get A.J. Brown, knowing that they got 2 number 1s and stuff, that they've got literally a backup for their quarterback plan for the following year. And here it is, we're getting a 5th-round pick that we got somebody who's not even going to be on the roster probably this year.
Yeah,
and then being sold that, a 3rd-round draft pick is going to be as good as, Cedric Wilson and replace Amari Cooper. And so we think about where everybody literally said the Cowboys don't care about winning. They're going to be abysmal.
Oof.
If you remember all of that and then take it and put it to where we ended up in the season, we actually overachieved.
Yeah, I think we did overachieve. Listen, as much as I hate, it's more of a product of where I live and what I deal with. But listen, we won a playoff game. As much as I wanted us to go into I actually think we should have won that game. So
we should have.
I'm upset that we didn't. If you would have said we would play a guy, but he Mr. Irrelevant would be starting. If you said that at the beginning of the year, we would all say that we're going to the championship game. So, it is what it is. It was frustrating. There was injuries. You know how it is with the Dallas fans in Dallas. When it goes bad, it goes monumentally bad quick. We couldn't foresee Pollard breaking a leg. We couldn't have, see Diggs dropping a pick right in his chest. I mean, it's just one of them games, man. But all in all, I think it was a successful year. But that doesn't mean we're going to have a successful year next year.
No, it doesn't. Nothing's guaranteed. Let me say hello to help me, Rhonda. What's up, Rhonda?
Rhonda Lovelace in the house.
And of course, there is Angelica Barone. What's up, Angelica? And I tell you what I really want to know, because we got Cowboys up north, who's in Canada. Okay, now I talked to Mike J, who's up in New England area up there. I can't remember which state. It's one of the small states that are up there, and he was saying that the wind chill was minus 39 yesterday. I want to know, how bad is it with Cowboys up north? Because this seems like some polar vortex shit that's going on here. It's like some end of days movie here. The day after tomorrow or something. So let me know, how cold did it get for you there, buddy? Nice drive here to start the game right now.
Yeah, I believe this is the Fresno State quarterback, Jake Hayner.
Okay.
But there's not a lot of defense being played. It's almost like it's an all-star game. You know how that works. I'm not saying they're not trying hard, but...
Well, they're trying also to make sure we don't get hurt, because that's the thing. You don't want to get hurt in this one. Yeah, Alicia, what's up, Alicia Morgan? How are you doing?
APJR, Tolbert is better than said. I would imagine he means he's Cedric Wilson, but can't do much with 3 targets all season. Listen, as much as I was high on Tolbert, I'll take Cedric Wilson. I'm already on record saying bring Cedric back, let him return kicks and punts, and him and Dak had a good relationship. He didn't hardly get any run in Miami, so he might be released. You never know. If he does, I'd be interested. To Tolbert, we'll see. Tolbert, you can't say it's all the team's fault, man. You got to make your own. Like, once you have an opportunity, you need to take advantage of it. That's just the way the league works. And he wasn't practicing well. He wasn't learning the plays and running the routes correctly. So that's on Tolbert. He's on the team going forward, but we got a lot of guys like that. I was telling Mark this a couple weeks ago. We have a lot of guys there. Like, we still haven't seen the Stanford wide receiver. If he's not good enough, we need to get rid of him. You know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So I'm terrible with names unless I write it down. But our, the dude with the big hair from Stanford, he's got speed, he's got size. He just doesn't seem to get open. So, I mean, I don't know, or he's not good enough in practice to get on the field. Jabril Cox. There's a lot of guys on our team that either going to have to step up, and if we don't know how they are, it could be bad.
But
we
see,
can't
this
sit here
goes
and
back
say
to the problem of Stephen Jones, who's always, we believe in our own guys, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you just because you draft them doesn't mean that they're going to be great.
And that's the one negative out of this year. We didn't get to see a lot of these guys for any real run. So what's up, Rhonda? How are you? I mean, we didn't get a real run with these young guys. So is Semi Fehoko and Jabril Cox actually playing defense? How do we know any of these guys are going to be good and they're going to take up a roster spot?
Right.
So that's my dilemma here. I'm not saying give up on them, but that's what happens when you go young all the time. I'm on record. I'm going to trade the 26th pick and go get Diggs if you can get him. That's who
to
I
me,
want.
that changes the whole complexity of the offense. But just a little tad bit here. How bad was our receiving core this year? Okay. I'm going to tell you how bad it was because Cedric Wilson, who had 602 yards for us a year before, who was our number 3, would have been our number 2, and it wouldn't even been close this year. Dalton Schultz was second with 577, followed by Noah Brown, which was in the 400 range, as well as Michael Gallup. That's how bad.
There's our next field goal kicker. He just made it.
Yeah, we definitely need another one there. So, when you start thinking, and I'm not going to say that Dak didn't have some bad reads and have some bad plays, but like I was telling you when we were texting earlier today, the interesting thing is Pat Mahomes per game averages 2.4 touchdown passes. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow average 2.1. You can go down to guys like Geno, who had a great season. He had 30 touchdown passes. He's 1.7. Right now they're saying Geno's worth $39.5 million on the market. Quarterback.
Right now, Roz is sitting there very excited with you and these numbers.
Okay. Kirk Cousins, 1.7. Aaron Rodgers was only throwing 1.5 touchdown passes this past year. But people will say, he lost Devontae Adams, which is true. Because he went from like 2.4 to 1.5 because of losing Devontae Adams. So that means if you bring him back, that means his numbers will go up, right?
Right.
We lost Amari Cooper.
Right?
And here's the thing that's amazing is Dak Prescott, as much as we talk about the interceptions, he ended up playing 12 games and having 23 touchdowns. He is 4th in touchdown passes per game. 1.9. That's it. So, yes, he does. He did. And this is one of those things that you can look at quarterbacks. It's not like every year they have the exact same number of interceptions. They rise and fall. Brett Favre one year had 29. I want to say 7 of his seasons he had over 20.
Yeah, that's why when we look at our free agents, we don't have to go over them today, but, I would probably keep less than I would originally have expected. When you start talking about our offensive line, it really wasn't great.
Connor McGovern.
And that's the thing. I like Connor. He's flexible. I mean, they like to use the word, position flex, and you can play this, you can play that. I just want a guy who could dominate it or piss him off with a bad offer like a D-Law. It goes on and on. J-Ron Curse last year. It was embarrassing what they offered him originally.
Yeah, our punter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Our punter. It's scary because the way they change their opinion
Max
on
Dugan.
Players.
Max Dugan is the goofiest little.
Yeah, right. That's the next Cowboy right there. He's redheaded.
Lordy. He'll be a value
tone
pick.
Is translucent. Okay. He's not even white. He's translucent.
He'll be a Cowboy for sure.
I got my white on now because it's the middle of winter, but he's white.
Oh Lordy, this is almost funny. Lola, Miss Hot Sauce, what's up? I'm burning for you. You know
Where
what,
is
Brian?
everybody, Mark?
I'm with you on that, Brian. Brian, our resident Washington Commanders fan, you're right. I can't take anything away from the Eagles that they went out and they said, guess what? We don't know about our quarterback, but we're going to put pieces around him and we're going to make sure that he can be the best that he can be. And I would just love that to happen with my quarterback, because finding quarterbacks that can actually throw touchdown passes is not an easy thing to do.
Max Duggan. There he goes.
Nice
He had
pass
all
there.
day in the pocket. There was
you
no
know,
pass
Jerry
rush.
Jones. Here we go. There's my man Max. Okay. And so now some people are going to say, oh, Jerry wants him, so let's draft him before Jerry Jones gets a chance. It was a little bit behind there. A little bit. The receiver had to kind of come back to get it, but nice ball. Nice ball.
Listen, look, yeah, but okay, people, look at the pocket. You know, you can say what you want. They didn't get a lot of sacks, the Niners, but Dallas's offensive line didn't exactly make Dak feel very. Look. He's sitting there scanning the whole field. He's got all day. Dak did not have that. You know, the Niners did to us what we did to Brady. We pressured every pass, every drop back,
You know,
and
the thing
that's
that's
tough to
funny
play
though,
that way.
is I'm trying to remember what play it was, but there was a play where it was actually a Chargers fan was trying to basically say, you know, we are golden now that we've got Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I saw your video with him.
And it was so funny because he's like, he ended up missing the receiver on this side. The problem is the guy was breaking free over here. He had to move away from the pressure.
The problem
being
when
set.
you got. That's the problem when you look at the field. Even me, you know, I mean, we'll sit there and watch a game. Like, oh, he was wide open. But you need to look at what the quarterback is going through.
And
You're
you got
looking
two
at
guys
it from
breathing
way
down your
out.
throat.
If you're flushed out one side, forget about the other side of the field. If you're flushed to one side of the field, forget it. This is the NFL. Not many quarterbacks. You're not supposed to throw across the other side.
Right.
So
falling away from the pass.
Yeah. So now your window is a lot shorter. So I'm confused with this offensive coordinator search. I'm really confused of a lot what's going on. We hired a 68-year-old offensive line coach. I'm not saying that's bad.
Old school.
It's just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm not complaining. I'm just throwing it out there that I don't know. I mean, what are they trying to do?
Well, I will say this much, at least. I'm done with Kellen Moore, and I'm done with Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan, Kellen Moore's offense. Okay? We need to do something different to at least have people have to study something different. When you've got guys from Tampa Bay saying, we just looked at the film last year and they did the exact same thing, you got a problem. To me, if you remember 2016, where, we won 13 games, Zeke Elliott was running like crazy, Scott Linehan and crew, they didn't change anything. They literally kept the offense exactly the same. And if you remember, what was the Amazon show that they were on? All or Nothing?
Yeah, All or Nothing.
And when we got to the Denver game and Denver shut down the run, you're just looking at the coaches like they're dumbfounded. Well, they stopped the run. It's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
They didn't plan for it. They didn't change anything. And when people know what you're going to do, it's easier to stop. Man, these offenses are rolling. Like
we said, it's not much. It's just man on man. It's kind of pitch and catch.
Pitch and catch, true.
But like if you're a defensive and you can actually get to the quarterback, then you're actually doing something special. You know what I mean? So it was pass.
Yeah. Cowboys up north, open the run and get separation. We did not have separation. We did not. I'm sorry. Our receiver core, and as much as people will focus in on the interceptions, having guys that have some space means less interceptions. And Michael Gallup got no separation. Noah Brown.
I think, though, Mark, in my opinion,
the offense that we're using.
I think it was the offense. Now, listen, all the
comebacks.
Blue chip talent rises. You saw CD. That's one of the best things that happened this year. You can say what you want. He was a man against boys out there. Yep. He stepped up, man, and we were all hammering him. There was times where he had some drops. I think that. Oh, look at that. I think
nice
that all
coverage.
comes into a young player. It's not easy being a number one in the NFL. It's Justin Jefferson made it look way too easy, and I think he came back a little bit this year. Maybe not numbers wise, but I think CD's a lot closer this year than Justin Jefferson than he was last year. Right? And I see Brian's in here. You get ahead, buddy. You got something to comment on or what? What's your opinion on what we're talking about?
Oh, well, damn! I didn't. Where are you?
I feel like the Cowboys try to do things right way, but I don't think they give enough help to where Dak can actually succeed in what they're trying to do. And I agree. I think Kellen Moore's time with the Cowboys was up because the offense was just a stalemate.
Yeah, and I'll say this: that's not a knock on Kellen Moore. He did a good job. Just because we need to move on doesn't mean that you're a bad person, a bad play caller, or anything. Because we keep hearing, we were number one since Dak came back and scoring. That's all true, but when it comes down to a small, very important part of the season, i.e. playoffs, when everything breaks down, other teams know that we're running the outs, the dig routes, like the comebacks. They're sitting on those routes, and we weren't, creative enough in this offense. That's all. We need to move on. Sometimes and
you know what? And we didn't have dogs in there that could make the plays. Once Tony Pollard went out, you had one weapon.
You saw what they were doing too.
Yeah.
I don't know if Brian will agree with me, but they were using Noah Brown like he was a number one receiver. It was like, okay, they're doubling our main guy CD, or he didn't get open one particular play. It was right to Noah, and Noah is not that. He's a special teamer /
fifth
four, in my opinion, maybe three. Right. I mean, if we have two number ones, he could be my three. That's fine. If we got Diggs and Noah's our third, fine. But we got Gallup for that. So that was very ridiculous to me.
But here's where it's so much. Jerry Jones. Sometimes just admit I screwed up. I messed it up. Because he is still on board with, we made the right call with Amari Cooper and stuff because we used the money to get our now, wait a minute. Hold on. You spent $12 million for Michael Gallup. You spent $11 million for Dalton Schultz. And combined, they didn't have the yards that Amari Cooper had the year before. Combined, they didn't.
Well,
and you spent $6 million in dead money.
Remember I said before the season, I'm sure everybody and most of the people in here was with us in the preseason. Remember I kept saying, I'm worried about the third downs in the playoffs when you need to get that first down. That's where Amari, he was more than a third down receiver, but what I meant was you needed another player other than CD to get open.
Yeah.
You need that guy who, that's why I want Diggs. Now, I think we both know, with the comments that have already been said, we're not going to get Diggs. I'll be shocked. They're going to have the same strategy. And this is where I like you made a comment, I think it was on one of your videos or whatever, and I said this before, where you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You need to be that much more talented than the next team to win in the playoffs by doing the same thing over and over and over. It's scary, man. I don't know what you guys think, but we need something different.
As much as you would like to see Diggs, I would like to see Hopkins.
Either one, man. Either one.
But the thing is, it's not going to happen because both Jerry and Steven's not going to pull the trigger to make a trade for a receiver.
Nice pass.
Yeah, and if we got and Brian, if we got like Hopkins, okay, they're already on record saying that they'll take a number 2. And I don't know about you, but look at our second round picks. Sam Williams, okay. I get it. He's young, but other than that, Diggs, we've always reached on guys. Boss man fat, okay. The linebacker who's playing with the Giants, Smith.
Jalen Smith.
Our second round draft picks have not been great. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. I really wouldn't. But I don't see them doing it. I don't know what everybody thinks, but I'm already hearing, it's going to be the same BS. It's going to be the same
Jerry,
BS.
What the Eagles and the Rams did going all out and stuff. I don't want to risk everything for years and things because we like looking the long game here and we like being in the middle. And that's exactly where we are every year. Good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to make the Super Bowl or close to making the playoffs. Riley, what's up, Riley? How are you doing?
And I'm going to say, as much as Jerry and Steven likes to believe in signing your own guys, I also believe that they overpaid guys that hurt in the long run.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
I mean, you have to look at the debacle of re-signing Michael Gallup and letting go Amari Cooper.
I love Michael Gallup. Don't get me wrong, too. But man, it's looking bad now, man. It's looking like a bad contract. Sorry,
I hate to tell you, it's looking like Miles Austin.
Mm-hmm. And as much as he was a good
Miles might be better.
number 2, number 3 option, he looks like a 4th and 5th option. That's pretty much on his way
that's
out.
not to say that his leg doesn't heal more, but what worries me is the fact that he just had his knee scoped again and his ankle both.
It was a cleanup, though. I mean, I'm not so worried about that.
No,
I hear you.
Again, now it's ankle and knee getting cleaned up after having ACL. And here it is, we're talking about, we want Odell Beckham Jr. You know what Odell does for the Cowboys?
Well, that's the problem. I agree with you there. That's why, remember I said I would, if he was healthy, I would have taken Odell in our run, but I wasn't necessarily looking for him long term. I'm not going to pay him 20.
I guarantee it's going to cost at least 16.
Yeah, and I don't want that. Then, if that's the case,
yeah.
How old is he? 30,
31, but having back-to-back knee injuries after they screwed up the first surgery. Yeah, it's kind of like you've seen people have had messed up plastic surgery and they try and keep fixing it, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Worse.
Guess what? Yeah. That can happen with the knee too. When people get injured and start getting injured more and more, it doesn't mean that, we're just getting them all out of the way now, and now we're going to be injury free. You constantly have them. And you can look back the last 3 years of Odell. Well, this year you can't even look at that because he didn't play. The numbers he's had have been terrible. What? Hold up. We got some breaking news.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Hey, the guy that I would love to see, and I know I'm going to be biased about this because I'm from Iowa and I'm a big Hawkeye fan, but if Banners does not come back, I would love to see Cowboys draft Jack Campbell.
Okay. I'm just getting into the names, but I'm very familiar with him. He's a good player, man.
So we have
some
breaking news here.
What's up,
good people? Okay, and let me get. Okay, so people, we have some breaking news here. Da-da-dunt, da-da-dunt. And it wasn't from Damn Gina. It was from Damn Gina's fiance, Michael Anthony Fitness Reaction.
Gig economy.
Well, who was it from?
Just say the damn news.
We now have an offensive coordinator. And what do you mean OGs? What do you mean OGs? I told you who it was going to be a week ago, man.
Who was it, Brian Schottenheimer?
Brian Schottenheimer.
I told you that.
I told you that. I told you.
He told you. You told me. We both knew, but I was shocked that they're going out of the. Why would you put on the circus then? Just hire your guy.
Why, Brian, are you asking why are we putting on the circus with Jerry Jones?
I know.
P.T. Barnum, Jerry Jones.
I get it.
They want the build up here. We want the breaking news. Brian Schottenheimer, who has worked with Mike McCarthy, and you have to understand what the Cowboys are doing is they're making the offense Mike McCarthy friendly. Okay? Yes, Brian Schottenheimer.
Back in the day.
No, that's actually our offensive line coach.
Offensive line coach
worked with us.
Yeah, they interviewed a couple guys, and they said, you know what? We got the guy right here. They knew all along they were going to hire him, unless somebody blew them out of the water. The only thing that maybe would have been different if, Well, they wanted the Carolina guy for the offensive line, so he wouldn't have been the offensive coordinator anyway. I'm happy with the move. He's got pedigree. He could call a game.
Well,
but let's
here's
just
the good
remember,
thing about
people, it's
him.
going to be McCarthy. But and I'll get into what he actually did with the Cowboys. But you guys' reaction first.
Well, I will say Brian Schottenheimer.
I know what he did for the Cowboys last year.
He was the offensive coordinator in the heyday of Russell Wilson. Now, I want you to understand something about the Seattle Seahawks. When the Seattle Seahawks were winning Super Bowls, okay, early years of Russell Wilson, people will say it's because they weren't paying the quarterback. The thing is they were a young team all the way around that had an incredible, and I mean incredible defense, a defense that was number one in points, yards, and taking the football away. They had a running back in beast mode who was getting 1,300 plus yards. And basically, Russell Wilson just had to be a bus driver. When that defense got old and beast mode was no longer there and they couldn't run the football, that's when you saw incredible numbers from Russell Wilson because they had no other options. But what you did see was that defense going downhill without that running game is they were making the playoffs, but they weren't making a whole lot of noise. Thus, the Dallas Cowboys were able to beat them in the playoffs. But offensive numbers with Brian Schottenheimer for the 3 years that he was there were historic for Russell Wilson as well as for the team. So now you go ahead and have a guy who has experience with Mike McCarthy, who understands the West Coast offense because that's what we're going to be running. Now it's a matter of fitting the coaches that can coach the style with it. And that's where our new offensive line coach has experience in with the West Coast, also is familiar with Mike McCarthy. And I would imagine that the quarterback coach and the running back coaches will also be going in here because this will be Mike McCarthy's swan song, where it's, either you're going to do better things with this offense, we're going to give you control of it, and you end up getting an extension because this is year number 4 of his contract, or you're going to fail and we're going to elevate Dan Quinn to become the coach. That's the way I look at it. Now, all of this means absolutely nothing as far as the coaching changes if you do not get personnel that's going to make the team better. Right? That's the bottom line. We have to get personnel that's going to fit this. This means we're going to change the way the offensive line blocks. It's more zone blocking versus mauling people, which means they're going to be doing more pulling and trying to basically set the corners and stuff with the offensive line. You don't have to hold up as mauled. This is going to be faster hitting plays, which means you need guys that can catch the ball in traffic in the move, and make yards after catch. This means your running backs are going to be used more on the outside running the football. They're going to be catching the ball outside and trying to make plays. This offense will be predicated on giving the players the ball where they can make yards after completions, which is something Kellen Moore's offense did not do. With all the comebacks and all the stop routes, now your motion is stopped on the field when you've got the ball, and now I've got to pick up some momentum and try and go down the field when the defender is beating down on you. So, yes, we ended up making a lot of yards and a lot of plays and stuff, but we didn't make the yards after contact, and that's hopefully
Jason
what
Renfro,
we're going to get.
Bijan. I did have it written down. Bijan,
Jason Renfro, what's up?
And I'm on record as saying if Bijan, I wouldn't sign either one of our backs right now. I would wait till after the draft. That's just my opinion. After how the season ended, Pollard had a nasty injury.
You know what I would do?
Sorry.
I might consider using the transitional tag on Tony Pollard.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. But you can't bring if Bijan is there at 26, which he's a top 5.
Right.
Yeah, he's in that area. Now, we know that running backs don't get taken early, nor should they. But with the 26th pick, if he were there, which I don't think he will be, it'll make our decision easier. He is far and away. I mean, his draft, he's going to be higher rated than when Zeke came out. He's going to be the highest rated running. That's how talented this guy is. So if we did pick Bijan, then I would let did both of the other running backs go? Maybe draft another one late or something and keep Davis. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying take him, but first round, you got to go best available. We were all not real happy with Jason. Hold on. Right. Yeah. We weren't real happy with, or at least nobody really knew about, what's his name? Our linebacker.
With Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah Parsons. We're getting a DB. We're getting a DB. We're getting a DB. He ended up, I would say Micah Parsons is arguably the best player in that draft. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
anyway, let's be clear here. We're Cowboy fans. We're never happy with anything. I honestly, tell me something that the Cowboys have actually been happy about other than firing Jason Garrett.
Okay.
I'm not happy about anything until we win something.
Okay, now I agree on your point there, Brian, but now let's talk about the offensive line now. If you're going to bring Tyron Smith back, would you...
what do you guys think about that, man? They're talking about bringing Tyron and Jason back.
Well,
what are they doing?
The way I see it is you bring Tyron back on a discount, and if he's willing to play that swing tackle, that's if Steele's ready to go.
Well, he's got a contract, so there's not much we could do. Either cut him or pay him. He's not going to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know, man. I think that's talk, but we'll see. I mean, I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to moving on and going with somebody young.
Okay, in their defense, you don't ever say, "Well, we're going to cut Tyron Smith." Right now, even if you're going to, I mean, they didn't say we're going to. What did Jerry Jones say about Des Bryant? Well, we love Des Bryant, and he's part of the family.
I'm in the shower and I think about him.
I can't envision the Cowboys without him. And then he was cut. Okay, DeMarcus Ware, they said the same thing. So I won't necessarily go by that right now. That's Jerry Jones. Jerry
I would try and trade him and call his bluff and see if he wants to really retire. I would really try and trade him. There's a market for Tyron. It won't be a 1 anymore.
No,
but if you can get him for a 3 or a 4, I mean, or maybe a 3.
This is one of the things that the Cowboys always do, though, is they hold on to guys to the point where they have no value. You know that, right? I mean, you think about, and we always end up signing these big contracts for guys, and they never pan out. You look at Romo's, you look at Des Bryant's, and not even to go through with guys like Miles Austin or Jay Ratcliffe or Marion Barber, guys that have had one good year, like Michael Gallup. What are you writing down there, man?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You doing notes or you grading papers?
Sorry, man. I have my notes for the Senior Bowl. I'm writing. Okay. I'm just doing some homework for the free agents that we got. Sorry.
Well, we got so many daggone free agent stuff. I've been trying to do should they stay or should they go, and thinking so far I've gotten through Cooper Rush, and I know Dak Prescott haters are saying we need Cooper Rush, let Dak Prescott go, but looking at the quarterback market that's out there. If you go by Pro Football Focus, they say his market value is about $6.5 million. But it may actually be a little bit more than that when you start thinking about the lack of quarterbacks that are out there. I mean, do you want to spend a boatload of money for Carson Wentz, or would you rather spend, say, $10 million for Cooper Rush?
Yeah, I would let Cooper Rush go and just bring back Will Greer.
You might actually get a compensatory pick.
Yeah, I would let him go and let him sign somewhere. Sorry.
And that
thank
brings
you for your service.
And see, this is another one with like Dalton Schultz. They say Dalton Schultz market value is $15 million. The franchise tag is 14.
13, I thought.
I'm sorry. Is it 13? Okay, 13. 13.
No,
14. Either way, I don't want to spend 11 on him again.
Yeah, no. That's what
But if you can get if he signs a contract for somebody for 15 and we know we're not going to sign for then that's another compensatory pick.
Right.
At least get something for these guys, as opposed to, quite frankly, we were fortunate that Randy Gregory ended up going. At least we got a 4 for him, as opposed to what they got in Denver for him this year.
Yeah. And we got 22 free agents, and I'm looking at them now. and maybe I'll keep 6 of them. We'll get into all that. But getting back to Brian Schottenheimer, what he did that was really impressive, and this goes in hand with our defense. His sole job, he actually worked hand in hand with Dan Quinn. That's who he worked with for the Cowboys. He devised an offensive game plan every week to beat his defense, to mimic what the other team was going to do, using their personnel.
Yeah.
He's a very, very, very smart guy. Dan Quinn loves him and Dallas's defense was, the strong suit of this team by a lot.
Yeah.
But it was Schottenheimer's job to sit down, meet with Dan Quinn and go, this is what they're going to do. This is how we're going to beat your defense. Over and over. So I'm very happy with it. That was his job. He wasn't sitting next to McCarthy saying, this is what you do. He wasn't like that. He was devising game plans every week. So I think it was a good hire. And that's my one thing on him. We'll see. It ultimately is going to be talent. You see who's in the Super Bowl. You see what the Eagles have done. You saw what the Rams did prior. Okay. I don't necessarily disagree that I want to do what the Rams did. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But what the Eagles did? Come on, man. We can't do something. We can't be more creative than just get the bottom of the basement free agents and then have a draft class
we
of 10 guys.
We were sub-basement, okay? Shout out to Mary Lon. What's up, Mary Lon? I mean, come on. James Washington, we thought,
I had his back.
Here's the sad part about it, that the Cowboys should actually look out for us YouTubers, because we're the ones that are selling the bags of shit that they go ahead and poop. Because no, I'm sorry, we do. Because James Washington, you don't count what he did last year, because Big Ben, was terrible last year. He should have been in a retirement home. And you go back through and you find a few stats and you say, hey, 1 year he was actually getting 14.9 yards per reception. If he gets with Dak Prescott, maybe we get that production. We sell the hype for the Joneses. Okay, and then we go through what Dante Fowler, because I remember saying, Dante Fowler, he was the number one guy on their defense that was terrible, so he was the guy they focused on the most, and they said, if we stop that guy, we ain't got to worry about anybody else. So we bring him here to the Cowboys. Terry Lee, what's up, Terry Lee? If we bring him here with the Cowboys, then of course he's going to be doing better. We're selling the line for Jerry Jones, and then, we get a fullback. Oh, we got a fullback, Ryan Nall. Man, this is going to help our offense so much because, we need a lead blocker. It's going to be like Moose Johnson and stuff, right? That was the moves we did in free agency. That was it.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. And, go ahead, Bri.
I was going to say, our offseason was nothing more than a joke, pretty much, besides Dante Fowler and
we got all those guys late in the process.
We did.
We got nobody.
We got Anthony Barr too, but we got Anthony Barr when training camp was almost. We had 2 more practices left in training camp in Oxnard.
Yeah,
that's when we signed Anthony Barr.
But I also told Phil on our broadcast. I said right before the season, I said, who has, because we went over offense and defense, and who we thought, even though I wanted him, I knew how it was going to go with them. There would be injury. He would have to play way more than he needed to play. He was exposed when he played more than, like situationally, let's say. And I said, well, who's going to be the guy that's going to have a great year and who might let us down? And not so much in the playoffs. I thought he had a good playoff, but Anthony Barr, I thought, let us down. And I was right in that. As much as I wanted him, he really, he got exposed.
Well, and again,
all those guys.
This goes back to the scratch and dent pile.
Right, exactly.
Everybody we hire or draft, it's because they're discounted for some reason. Okay? Anthony Barr was coming off a knee injury, right? Michael Gallup, we signed him to a long-term contract. ACL injury, right? Leighton Vander Esch, neck issue, right?
Yeah.
We'll probably sign Terrence Steele to a mega deal long term because he messed up his knee. He might not be ready to start the season, right? Because that's what we do. We always look and say
he's a free agent too. I mean, Anthony Brown, so he's probably done.
No. I mean, I spent Terrence Steele.
That'll be close.
Yeah.
They're going to re-sign him, Mark.
Yeah, but they'll probably do him just like they did Michael Gallup. Oh, and that's great if they end up panning back out after these injuries. But at some point, we have to stop looking at the scratch and dent pile and say, you know what, we need a linebacker. We need to have somebody who can play right now, who's not recovering from a knee injury.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
We need a wide receiver who is not on one leg.
We don't need somebody who's got to come in and learn how to be a pro. We need somebody who is a pro now that can come in and demand a double team. Mm-hmm. You can't double everybody. So that's my thing where I want, whether it's Hopkins, he has a lot left in the tank, but I'm on record. I would just say I would love to have Diggs, his fire. I think we need that. I think we need somebody. I don't know if Dak could handle Diggs. I don't know. I don't know that he couldn't because, the one time that Amari Cooper got vocal on the sideline for whatever reason, next thing you know, Dak's not.
I think he could handle it because he had Dez.
For a little bit until he got rid of him.
Well, listen. Here's people will always say that Dak Prescott, he ended. He's the career ender. Well, take a look at these guys that have left from Dak Prescott and tell me where somebody has been successful that Dak was holding back. Jason Garrett. How that? Okay. Oh, he got rid of. How did Jason Garrett do in New York? Right.
Yeah.
He had Randall Cobb, who had the best year he had since 2015. How did Randall Cobb do the next year with Deshaun Watson or the next year with Aaron Rodgers?
Nothing.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Dez, after he left here, was everybody running down the door to try and get Dez Bryant? No. I love Dez. But the thing about Dez Bryant people don't seem to understand is Dez was not a disciplined route runner. Dez was just very, very physical, and he could impose his will on people. And with Tony Romo, who would scramble and buy time, they'd find each other. That's not Dak Prescott's game. Dak, where I think he'll work well in the West Coast offense, is you're supposed to be at this spot at this time, and that's when the ball's coming there.
Yeah.
And if you're not there, then it's going to end up being an incompletion or an interception or something else. And that's what the West Coast is predicated on. It's about getting rid of this ball right now.
It's not so much – I don't know how much the two-way routes are in the West Coast. I'm not positive. But, it seems like as much as they practiced it, the receiver would go one way and Dak would be reading it the other way, almost like the Y option. Remember the Witten used to do? He'd go up the seam, and based on how the defense was positioned, he would turn in or turn out. That's a two-way, and those plays are awesome. They really are. They are game breakers. If you could get on the same page with your receivers and tight ends, they are the difference makers. You can't plan on that. You can't really defense that play. But I think we rely on that play way too much. And there are some interceptions that were because of that also.
Yeah, because the player's not where he's supposed to be.
It looks horrible for Dak.
Well,
I'm a guy. Where's he throwing it?
And it's like, first of all, we're guys that are outside of the building. We didn't have the playbook. We're not in the film session. We're just assuming. And just like I said, that this Chargers guy, Kellen Moore designed a great play, but Dak Prescott missed it. First of all, buddy, scrawny little dude here on YouTube, I'm glad that you are a freaking genius and should be actually out there designing plays, but you're not. You're not in there where you've got 1.5 seconds.
He wants him to be the best.
1.5 seconds to go ahead and figure out where the fuck you're going with the ball. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Where the hell you're going with the football.
Yeah, I got
Jason
you, man.
Renfro. You know what I'm saying? In real time. Oh, this guy was wide open and he missed him. Guess what? 99% of the quarterbacks are going to miss him because they're worried about losing the ball and getting knocked out. This shit happens fast.
Yeah, that's why I think it may be good. It really may be good. You could switch it. I don't think it'll be a true West Coast. I think they'll.
Well, it's going to need to evolve some because
It's going to have to evolve a lot, but I think they're going to keep some of the things, and you'd be a fool not to of what Dak run. I like to read option plays. I think you saw. Look at the Eagles. They run it. Yeah, every once in a while the quarterback has to run, and I think Dak realizes once the playoff starts, now it's time to do that. Things are going to break down. You're playing really good teams usually. They have good defenses. So you're playing. Every defense has got, two good corners usually. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to make plays on your own. So, but yeah, I'm excited about the offense. We'll see. You know, and now it's funny, Mark. You hear people say, "Oh, well, what has Mike McCarthy ever done? He's not the best play caller. He won a Super Bowl."
Yeah,
you can't just overlook that. That's a small group of people who've won Super Bowls calling plays, and he's one of them.
If you're saying, okay, because here's the bullshit that you get from old talking heads, because of course they always talk about elite quarterbacks that elevate the team, right? And the top of that list is always Aaron Rodgers. Then how come Aaron Rodgers only has one touchdown? I mean, one Super Bowl. If that's the case, how come McCarthy. He doesn't have like Tom Brady? Right? It shouldn't. By their logic, it shouldn't matter who he's playing with, which means he should have beat the Detroit Lions the end of this year. They scored 16 points against the Lions at home.
Right.
And all these people that are saying, well, the Lions are a good team. Are they a playoff team? Are you literally looking and saying now you're comparing Aaron Rodgers not being able to beat the Lions, that's okay? And he's considered an elite quarterback? And quarterback is the only thing that matters? Now, I'll look at it and
obviously
say,
not.
You know, having a playmaker like Devontae Adams helps.
Mm-hmm.
I would say having a receiver like A.J. Brown helps Jalen Hurts, especially when you got a great offensive line. Right. All these people that keep thinking that, you know, you can have the 28th rated offensive line in pass blocking and think that you're supposed to be in the Super Bowl. You don't have two teams here in the Super Bowl that have those problems. You don't look at these two teams and don't say they're not loaded on both sides of the ball, because they are.
Mm-hmm.
Please name me one team that had no talent and just a great quarterback that won Super Bowls. Because as much as everybody talks about, well, Tom Brady, he's got 7, he's never had worse than the 8th rated defense.
Right.
To win a Super Bowl. The worst one he had was Tampa Bay this last time. Some of those years he had the number 1 defense in football. Now, he's part of that because he's not turning over the ball and stuff. But understand, Tom Brady did not do those things all by himself.
Yeah.
And that's where I just lose my mind. So, free agents, Brian, you were saying there's about 5 guys you keep.
Well, just looking at the list, man, we have actually 22 just free agents. So we have more that are restricted. And all
like
that. We're just talking about
restricted.
Yeah, that's why I said the 30 number originally. But you got Tony Pollard. I don't know, man. I mean, I would try and hold off. If we end up getting a Bijan, then why would you? Because
here's the problem. There's two ways to look at it. Is you can let him be a free agent. Because you got to, if you're going to tag him, you know, at the end of this month, the 21st,
I would let him
2 weeks
to test the waters. I would.
You may end up. Somebody says we'll give you a boatload of money for him.
Well, then
you got a compensatory pick. But I'm afraid. Here's the thing I'm afraid of is 2 years from now we're looking at it like the Zeke Elliott contract and saying we overpaid for him.
Right. This is why I don't know that I want to do that.
And if the Cowboys let him go. You know what I would rather do? And this is going to sound crazy. It just hit me in the head. If you're saying I got to pay Tony Pollard like $12 million.
That's what it's going to take.
Okay. I would say they'd be better off spent going out and getting a really great wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They would be better off doing that.
I want to keep our defense intact. Okay. We've already saw. Okay. I'm sorry, people. And all you Pollard fans, I love Tony Pollard. Believe me, I would love for him to be a part of the team. But
damn, okay.
Anybody that he thinks he can carry the ball 20 times a game, I know that was a freak hit, but it's not. He's not gonna.
He can't do it.
You saw what happened to Zeke. Okay, Zeke lost his burst, and it took years. Pollard, it may take 6 games. Mm-hmm. I want to go back
to let's be that every down back.
Let's draft young guys and then he get rid of them after 4 or 5 years, or I would rather go, especially now, Mark, that we're going to a West Coast. Mm-hmm. There isn't that need for a number 1 guy. You have a multitude of guys.
Yeah,
the Eagles are paying their high. The Eagles are paying a total of $4 million to their running backs.
Right, because they're young and all that. But yeah, and they're running back by
That's
committee.
a good philosophy. Now, I love Zeke, but like once we go to that philosophy, we need to stick to it. And I think our defense, you have to have a good defense if you want to be in the Super Bowl. That's a have to.
Mm-hmm.
But, Eagles are doing it with offensive line, defensive line. I mean, just look at the Eagles' defense and sacks. Each one of their defensive linemen are in double-digit sacks.
Right.
Or I think the lowest has 9. I
got to read this Junebug comment, man. Dak is just like a new cast iron skillet. It takes multiple meals for it to truly get seasoned. Season it right.
Nice.
That's a man that owns a restaurant right there. Okay.
Blackstone. So there you go. He's like the Blackstone.
But I tell you what, when you get that cast iron right, oh man, you will throw away your non-stick stuff with all the chemicals in it. I ain't gonna bullshit you.
Yeah.
I love my cast iron.
But I mean, I have all the free agents here, and it's a lot of them I wouldn't bring back, man. I really wouldn't. I think that we need to stop looking at our special teams and go, well, we got to have this guy. Well, I have to. I have to have that guy. I have to have that guy. Listen, man, you didn't do anything special teams wise. They were good. Mm-hmm. They weren't great. Our returner made the Pro Bowl. I think that was a stretch. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. There wasn't really a dynamic returner in the league.
Let's go through them. We got Dalton Schultz. You and I think we both say he should go.
Yeah, he's got to go.
He is not Jason Witten reincarnated.
No. We got
Anthony Brown, who is 29 and plays good at times, is much maligned by Cowboy fans, but does have a lot of injuries consistently.
Yeah, if he wants to take a real team-friendly deal, then he can come back.
5.1 is what it was this year.
Yeah, I would say move on. Mm-hmm. That's just me. I'm going to be aggressive here and let a lot of these guys go.
We actually played well with the young guys that we have.
You got Bland, and I think Joseph is his maker. This is his year. Joseph is going to slide into our number one special teams guy. This is why I don't think C.J. Goodwin's back. C.J. Goodwin is a free agent. Mm-hmm. He's not somebody that we talk about a lot, but he can play no defense. And he really did slip. He used to be our number one special teams guy. I didn't think he'd make the team this year. Mm-hmm. I think we're dumb to CJ. But, with our special team coach, he seems to he gets everybody he wants, So I think we need to start letting guys like that go. But anyway, like some of the big names, Donovan Wilson. We need to bring Donovan Wilson back. Mm-hmm. Sorry. I'll let some of the offensive guys go, or I'll let Anthony Brown. Donovan Wilson played at a Pro Bowl level. Make no mistake about it.
Dante Fowler.
Dante Fowler now. I ain't bringing him back now. If you want to add him later down the road, fine, but nope.
Leighton Vander Esch, who was $2 million.
I don't know what they're going to do with him. I want him back, but he made himself a lot of money. We might not be able to afford him now.
Well, he was $2 million this year.
Is that what he was?
Yeah, they brought him back dirt cheap.
Well, he ain't getting $2 next year.
No.
So
Anthony Barr, who's $2 million.
No, he's done.
Jason Peters.
I would say no, but obviously by their comments, they want him. So I don't understand. The only way you want him is he only wants to play left tackle. Mm-hmm. So, I guess he's going to be our backup on. I don't know. Don't forget, we still got Matt Waletzko, who's going to come in and be our left tackle or swing tackle. Yeah. He was really having a good camp as a rookie, surprisingly enough.
Trayvon Mullen?
No, he could. I didn't like him when he signed him. So
Hankins?
Yes, if you notice, there's a theme. I want all of our defensive guys back. I want Hankins back.
Who I want back?
There's one defensive guy in the draft I want who's a Hankins clone. Mm-hmm. So if you get him as a one tech, then I would take him. But if not, I'd rather have Hankins back.
I want John Ridgeway back. Is what I want.
Yeah,
back.
I know. We talked about it because we kept Carlos Watkins, who's a free agent, and let this young kid go. So it was just very frustrating, man.
Our long snapper, Jake McQuaid.
Yeah, well, they're both up. Actually, McQuaid and Matt Overton, who came in and it took over. I don't care. Just pick one of them. and we'll go with it. I actually liked how Overton did. I thought he did well. So whoever wants to take
Franklin?
less. Who?
Clifford Franklin? I mean Noah Brown. I'm sorry. Noah Brown.
Noah Brown. Listen, I'd rather him go. If somebody's going to, I don't think anybody will give him a Cedric Wilson deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm ready to move on from Noah.
Carlos Watkins.
Rotational guy. I think you can bring him back no problem as a rotational guy.
Special teamer Luke Gifford.
I like him a lot. He's a big part of our special teams. I don't know. I'd let him test, but I don't think anybody's going to give him a lot of money. I think he'll be back.
Cooper Rush.
No, he needs to go. He needs to go. We'll get, let him go fly his wings somewhere.
Oh, man. Money Maher. We already know that.
Yeah, he's done.
The governor, Connor McGovern.
He's the guy I thought for sure was a lock to come back. But we shall see. I have a weird feeling that he will be back. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to bring him back. I don't know that I would. How about you? I mean, what do you think, Bri?
I'm kind of iffy about that too. But I mean, if he comes from
I thought he played well, but not great
this year, right? Yeah. Exactly. But it's just up in the air. I mean, I agree with everyone you said that needs to come back or go because at this point, the Cowboys, the way they do free agency, they bring guys back that we normally probably don't want back because of the money wise, but they just bring back because they think that they're the best option.
Right, right.
We believe in our guys.
Yeah, right. Mrs. Cowboy 88, Rush stays. I don't know. I really don't. I know that McCarthy really likes Will Greer.
Not about $8 or $9 million. He doesn't.
Yeah, I don't exactly. I don't think. Listen, I think we need. That's why I'm with. Let's go get a dominant wide receiver, and go young at running back. If Zeke wants to take a lot less, then fine. I'm not liking what I'm hearing out of there.
But see, if I'm Cooper Rush right now,
I would leave.
I would want to leave because my stock is as high as it's ever been.
Yes.
Okay. Right. The amount of money I'm getting paid right now is less than $1 million. I can go out here and I can get me some money and maybe an opportunity to actually play some football.
Right.
I mean, and you can understand wanting that case right there, because there is a lack of quarterbacks in the NFL, and he could end up being like Geno Smith was. Geno, you look at Geno's numbers before this year, they've never been good. He has a great season. Now, all of a sudden, he can get paid, generational money. T.Y. Hilton. Lynn Williams would rather keep
It all
Rush.
Depends what we're going to do there, Mark. I would say no. I would say move on unless, let me ask you how many guys do you want to keep?
Let's put it this way. If you had to make a choice between Clifford Franklin or T.Y. Hilton.
I'd go T.Y.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right. Ooh, those bacon wrapped shrimps.
Well, I would bring him back over Noah Brown any day.
You would take Noah Brown, you said?
No, I would bring Ty to T.Y.
Yeah.
Over.
So here's the deal. Noah plays special teams. That's the thing. He has more value to them. T.Y., I don't mind bringing him back, but we got to decide. We can't bring them both back. We need to decide what we're doing. Are we giving a chance to Semi Fehoko, or are we moving on? Are we, because we still got Tolbert. We're not cutting him. So, what I mean? It's we have a lot of bodies there.
Okay, let me say this much about Semi. You got me worried that if he can't get playing time over Noah Brown.
I agree, but and
he's been here 2 years.
That's why I was saying we got to move on. I think we should. I don't know that they will. We couldn't even let him return punts and kicks, and he did. He did that in college. So I don't.
Jalen Tolbert couldn't line up right on side.
I know. I still like Jalen Tolbert's upside,
which makes me wonder
after 1 year.
Why do we keep the wide receiver coach?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But okay. We already talked about Tony Pollard, and you think
well,
I wouldn't be in a hurry
I don't know,
to
man.
sign
We'll
him.
see. I just think for a guy who's explosive as him to have a broken leg, I mean, okay, how much are you going to pay that?
I could say the transitional tag. If somebody wants to
I don't
offer
have
me
a problem with that.
pick or two for him, okay. You can always rescind it.
Somebody is going to probably do that. So that would, call, the Cowboys bluff, So, I have a feeling, I just hope I really hope we don't bring them both back. As much as, I love Zeke, but
if they let,
I'm ready to turn the page and go with somebody young.
If they let Tony Pollard go and hold on to Zeke, they will get killed.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think you saw in that playoff game with as healthy as it can be, Zeke, the Pollard was getting more of the run, and Pollard was having success.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't having success all the time, though.
No, he wasn't.
There were some games in there that were snoozers.
Yeah. I agree.
Terrence Steele, restricted free agent. And Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, Rico can go. I mean, if they bring him back, they won't be paying him much, so that's fine.
Sugar Daddy says, keep Pollard. Those kids heal fast. Rhonda says she don't want no Zeke at all. He needs to go.
Well, I'm going to read you guys something. This is from Todd Archer.
Mm-hmm.
We could easily, save room. Okay. Yeah, right now Dallas is 7.4 million over, even with the cap jumping to 22 point 224.8 million. Can easily get under the cap with restructures of Dak Prescott. You're already hearing them talking about going with Dak long term. I have no problem with that. These quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Like Mark has stated, the cap is going to continue to go up.
But hold on, let me interrupt you for one second there. Understand what the Cowboys have done as far as trying to find a quarterback since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They lucked into Tony Romo, and Dak, that was not the guy they
that
even
wasn't the
wanted.
guy. They wanted Connor Cook.
They were just
and then,
we just need a practice
Paxton
body.
Lynch, and then Connor Cook.
Right. Okay,
both of those are no longer
thinking that the Cowboys can just draft a great quarterback. Get out of here with that. Okay, but I'm sorry. Go on there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to put that little tad bit in there.
Hey, man, it's your show, right? Restructures of Dak Prescott. You could restructure Michael Gallup. I don't agree with that one, but you could. It wouldn't be a lot. He didn't get a whole crap ton, but we're talking this year to stretch it out a little bit. You could restructure Michael Gallup, Zach Martin, as long as you sit down with Zach and he's not planning on
every year thing.
But I mean, he's still at the top of his game. He dipped a little this year, but I think that had a lot to do with once Steele went out. I think that had a little bit to do with that. DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, if you talk to D. Law, he had a great year. Yeah, you just by restructuring those four,
you got 60.
You could save $45 million in room. You'll have just doing that. That's not so. There's and if we re-sign Dak, that'll bring his number way down, and that's easy. That's easy work. And then then he goes, more relief can come if you release Tyron Smith, Zeke Elliott. Now just put those two together. Now you're looking at over $60 million. Okay, in available money. You could re-sign Zeke. That's what I was telling you. You might even be able. I mean, I don't know what Tyron wants to do. He seems like a team-friendly guy. You could make these guys like post-June and save a lot. The Cowboys have 19 players set to be unrestricted. 2 that are RFAs. They'd like to keep Pollard, Wilson, Van Der Esch, and McGovern. I don't know. I mean, I think that's what you do, though. Ultimately, you could just do that. And you can get way under the cap, way under. And then you could go and get a couple actual players and free agent. Or
you continue to do shit the same way.
Or you could pay your guys. Pay Diggs now. Pay CD now. You're not going to pay Parsons this year. You'll pay him next offseason. but you could take care. And everybody's saying, "Oh, well, you got to give CD because he's the best player." I'm telling you now, Diggs is going to hold out if we don't give him a new deal. You could already see it. You could already see the writing on the wall. He deserves the new deal. How much I don't know, man. I'm not an agent, but if you identify that you want him long term, get him and Lamb done this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the curve.
Yeah.
Do it now.
In which case, what you can do is, because there's still money that's left on their current contract for a year,
that's
you can basically make those, create some more capital off of those this year and kick it down the road when you'll have more space and stuff to do it. And see, that's what I would do. People do to get creative, and that's what a lot of teams did last year. I mean, New Orleans signed a bunch of free agents. They started out $72 million over the cap. Now, they're 61 again this year. But they'll end up doing some stuff that will create more space. And that's where we have to start looking at this and saying, yeah, we have to go ahead and decide we're going to do this as opposed to telling us that we can't.
I would do that, Mark and Brian. That creates a lot of room.
Yes.
You could then, like I said, I would do it if you're going to you give new deals to Diggs and Lamb. Get those two guys done now. You bring in one real big free agent. I want it to be a wide receiver, and then just draft more young guys. Obviously re-sign a handful of guys that I already talked about. You could do all that. You could do it all. There's plenty of money. So what's up, James?
Brian, hey, what's going on?
Right?
James Nooks, what's up, man?
Hey, James.
What's happening?
I got to get your info, man. I'm going to start doing some lives. So I'll bring you on, and me and you could do it. Because Phil, real busy, man.
Okay.
Me and Phil have our show, but like I was telling Mark, I want to go on more. Just pop on for 45 minutes to discuss what topics of the day. So maybe I can get your info, man, if you want to come on. If I don't know what
Yeah, I got game times.
That's me. I'm game time.
Oh, prime time. I gave him my.
Okay, I'll get it from you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just text me and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mark.
Let me read something real quick here. This is from Brian Schottenheimer. Hang on one second here. So Brian Schottenheimer, who was just hired as our new offensive coordinator, we know about the relationship that he has with Mike McCarthy, and I guess the heyday of him has been with the Seattle Seahawks, where he was offensive coordinator for 3 years. He says, and I quote, "I am thrilled and thankful for this exciting opportunity and embrace the high standards and expectations that come along with this role as the Dallas Cowboys organization. Having long-standing great respect and appreciation for Mike McCarthy as a person, as a leader, and as a head coach makes this a very rewarding and compelling moment for me. The ability to win with great teammates that share the same goals and alignment in how we reach them makes this special for me, and I am grateful for it." So that's what we're getting from Brian Schottenheimer, who is now the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator.
I like the move, man. I really do.
Under Mike McCarthy. So, you like that. At least, it's almost comical when you start thinking that we haven't heard anybody, or maybe I've missed it, who's basically said, we're going to miss Kellen Moore, or thank you, Kellen Moore, for what you've done. You've got nothing from anybody.
How that works, Mark. They'll all come out of the woodwork as soon as there's one bad game. Oh, so you miss Kellen, or,
Oh, well, that'll be the talking heads.
That's always going to be the case. You can't look at it that way. You got to look at it. I like the move. Kellen had to go. I hope Kellen goes on and it does great things. That has nothing to do with my team. So, good luck, bro.
D-tackle Vontae Sweat and linebacker Damone from Texas are guys I want for the defense to pick up in the draft. And that is from Jason Renfro.
We're going to get into the draft big time as it gets a little closer. I like to wait till we get the Super Bowl done and get the combine going. Right around the combine time. We got a lot of big dates getting ready to come up with. I have all the dates here. Unrestricted free agency and all that stuff. And that's I like to get into that.
We need to be looking at, because guys, we're only 2 weeks and a couple of days away from the beginning of tagging free agents.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also need to
February 21st.
by the 15th of March. So we're only about a month away of having to be below the salary cap. And if there's free agents we don't want to get to hit the market, we need to sign them before the 13th of March, because that's when legal tampering starts.
Right.
Why do we
wouldn't mind signing DeJuan Jones
Terry
from Ohio
Tubby?
State.
We got our Terry Tubby, okay? We're seeing that TV right there in Terry Tubby's chest. Why do we hate Kellen Moore? It's not a matter of hating Kellen Moore, but we're pointing out what we believe.
We've won as far as we could with Kellen Moore. It's not a bad thing. It has nothing to do with it. How many times can you see an out route or a comeback route get intercepted? Because when all things break down, that's what he has built in the offense. I mean, listen, he's done well. Just because we're moving on doesn't mean it's a bad thing necessarily. This is the NFL, man. I mean, it's not for long. You're not going to be in one place forever. That's the one thing I disagreed with McCarthy with his last press conference. He was like, the reporters need to go easy on some of these coaches, that they have lives, they have families, they're uprooted. That's BS. You are hired. You're hired to be fired. This is the league that you're in. You have to win or be gone.
Yeah.
The fact that Jason Garrett had 10 years is a joke. 8-8 after 8-8 after 8-8. McCarthy's won 12 games in back-to-back years. Well, 13.
And we're talking about firing him.
And now we're talking about, I don't know. Listen, the Kellen was the last piece of the Garrett era. You could agree, you could disagree. That's a fact. So now McCarthy's going to be judged. He's going to be calling plays, I'm sure, with input with Schottenheimer. And now I think we all can agree, if Dallas doesn't have a good year this upcoming year, McCarthy's probably gone. And guess who's going to step in?
I love the haters with a name like move on from Dak. Kellen Moore missed wide open receivers and threw interceptions.
Well, I'm just hoping that, if we're going to a West Coast offense, that they look for some receivers. Because one of the biggest problems we had on offense was our receivers, other than CeeDee Lamb, could not get no separation at all.
Yeah,
so I think we need some fast, receivers out there that can get open and get separation. If he's wanting to run,
if we just got one, to go with CD. No, I'm just saying, if we just got one more really good one, then you're okay with Gallup coming back. You're okay with Noah Brown sprinkling in there and stuff. If you got two legitimate weapons, or if you have a great tight end who is kind of like a de facto wide receiver, we got none of the above. Dalton Schultz, was a major disappointment. Yeah, granted, he was injured a lot this year, but the typical West Coast tight end needs to be able to block, and he needs to be able to catch. That's prototypical.
Which I think works well with Ferguson
and Hendershot.
And Hendershot, yeah, absolutely. So, and not to mention McKeon, you're always going to draft a young one, not early necessarily, but like that Isaiah Likely from last year. I really liked him. Get it? But he was drafted later. I think it was round 4 or 5, and they said, man, he's raw. Well, he started coming on. He was coming on for the Vikings. So, you can always get a good guy with athleticism in the middle or late in the draft. I want a draft. I just think we're all on the same page as we need another number 1 receiver. That's take that money, go out and get a Diggs, a Hopkins. I don't care. Don't draft one. Go buy one.
But that the Cowboys, because here's the problem: the Cowboys will get Odell because of the hype factor.
Well, so they don't have to give up
the thing is, in people's mind, what they think of is Odell, one-handed catch in the greatness that he was in the other years. They're not looking at it from the standpoint of where the guy is now. And see, people will say, people, if the Cowboys sign Odell tomorrow, would be like, oh my God, we're winning the Super Bowl. We got Odell. And we're still talking about a guy who, what did he have, 500 yards the last year he played? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he's coming off. back-to-back years where he had an injury to the same knee. The fact that they're even bringing his name up, I was in on him last year when you had a chance to win the Super Bowl. When he, was not ready to play, which is, I didn't know that. You're hearing all kinds of things. Oh, he's been cleared.
Yeah.
Like Odell.
Yeah, he was going to be cleared in November.
Yeah, he was cleared. No, he wasn't cleared for what? He was what? He was cleared to walk.
He's not cleared for the Super Bowl. Okay.
So, then that totally changed my thinking because I was big on it because I wanted once you identify that you have a team that has potentially he can go all the way at that point of the season and he was free, you obviously look into it. I was into it. It wasn't going to cost us anything but money. But to do the long term, I would have to see him do a hard, grueling physical workout, and then I still wouldn't give him $20 million. Sorry.
He's lazy. He said that he doesn't feel like he doesn't want to play in regular season. He just wants to play in the postseason. Yeah, so why do you want somebody like that?
And I feel like we're bidding against ourselves. Don't you guys think that we're bidding against ourselves? Who else is really going to give him high dollars?
Well, I also believe that this is exactly what the media wants, is the Cowboys to sign him just to where if things don't work out, they can just start hating on us even more.
But I think it's going to happen because they don't want to part with draft picks. Right. And we don't have time to draft another young one. In like the first round this year, there may be one receiver taken. I'm not saying there's not a lot of wide receiver talent, but first round talent, no. It's more later in the draft.
I wish Marvin Harrison Sr. was coming out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Marvin Jr., I'm sorry.
Yeah, Junior. I'll take Senior at this point on our squad. But yeah.
I would even take him as a wide receiver coach.
Nick Sirianni owns Arizona. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Okay. And here's the very first time wide receivers got open, Dak just didn't see them. Ty was open for a TD on that third down.
I agree with that.
I agree.
But,
you know what? But nobody. I can guarantee you can go through every game film. And you can go ahead and point out 10 times that it would have been better going to somebody else that the quarterback missed. That's not just we make these things that we talk about with Dak Prescott like it doesn't happen with anybody else. Josh Allen.
The Eagles offense?
Josh Allen had more turnovers than anybody else. You count the fumbles and things, but nobody's talking about Josh Allen is sitting on the couch with Dak Prescott. When everybody looked at that team all offseason and said, this is a Super Bowl team. This team went out and got Von Miller. This team has,
his own teammates are coming out now and ripping Josh Allen because he's already on the golf course.
Okay.
Whatever.
You had literally everybody saying, this is what a Super Bowl contending team looks like. When it came to the Cowboys until training camp, the Cowboys are ass. The Cowboys deconstructed themselves. They took away all the talent. So, yes, you can go ahead and cherry pick, just like I said, right now, they're cherry picking the interceptions of Dak Prescott. Well, guess what? Dak Prescott maybe missed some of those guys. But you know what? Dak Prescott is fourth in the NFL in throwing TD passes this year. Okay? Fourth. You go into a game. You got Pat Mahomes going to throw more touchdown passes than anybody else. You got Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Then you got Dak Prescott. You're going to get 2 touchdown passes a game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, yes, you're going to get some interceptions. But when you start comparing him to Davis Mills, you average about 1 TD a game, which means that's a wash. You got an offense with garbage. I'm sick of people swearing that if you put Dak Prescott in with the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not going to the Super Bowl. Well, I tell you what, if you put Pat Mahomes here with the Cowboys and the shit that he'd have to deal with, they're not going to the Super Bowl either. And I will say, Pat Mahomes has something that Dak Prescott damn sure don't have. And that's the officials.
And Kelsey.
The damn officials.
Yeah, Kelsey, exactly.
Did you see those damn calls going down the stretch for that game?
I think you're seeing who's more important, a guy like Kelsey or a guy like Tyreek. Always. As good as Tyreek is, you see that they're still in the Super Bowl. Not because of their dominating defense.
Here's the thing about tight ends that people don't seem to understand, that you have more dominating tight ends in the last 10 years than you do wide receivers. The tight end can be more important because, A, He can block, he can catch, and they don't know which one he's going to do if you have a dynamic tight end. I mean, you look at that catch that Kittle made. Look at that catch. Mm-hmm. That was a game-changing catch. Is Dalton Schultz making that catch?
Nope.
No.
There you go. And that's the thing about winning and losing. It's so small. If Kittle doesn't make that catch, maybe they don't win that game. That could be the difference. If Diggs makes that interception down there, that could have been the game. And if you want to cherry pick and find the couple little things that just the quarterback missed, you can do that. But there's things that everybody missed.
And to that point, to Kittle, Mark, I think if Diggs would have put his head up and stuff down, he could have actually tipped that ball.
Yeah.
Where Kittle would not be able to catch it.
Yeah, or jarred it loose and maybe have gotten a pick.
Yep, exactly.
Tipped it up where somebody else might have gotten it.
Yep.
Yeah, we just need to get some talent. Once we get some talent, I think we'll be all right. Because we overachieved, like you said, Mark. We didn't have nothing. I mean, we were dead to rights going into the beginning of the year. Everybody was like, oh, man, they're screwed. They got rid of Amari Cooper. But yet we still went 12-4, made the playoffs.
They literally
say something.
Everybody literally said this is the worst offseason that the Dallas Cowboys have had in their history. Yeah. Everybody, not just the normal haters, me, Law Nation, Vosh, we're all looking and saying, are we tanking? We literally said the Cowboys look like they're tanking, so Mike McCarthy gets fired and we get Sean Payton. And you can't. There's no other way you could look at that and say the Cowboys were building a team.
Yeah, let's touch real quick since we got time on Sean Payton.
He ain't gonna be able to save Denver.
He's not going to be able to save Denver. He's a good coach, but did you guys see what they paid Sean Payton? And guess what, Sean? You weren't their first choice. Mm-hmm. After D'Amico decided he was going to Houston, they reached out to him yet again. Mm-hmm. So Sean Payton, good riddance, buddy. Good luck. Good luck. I mean,
you weren't
their first choice. Right at quarterback. So
right. So
the funniest
I'm not worried about
thing,
Sean Payton. That's his last job. Everybody, I was on record. I wanted that quick hitting, but I wasn't prepared to give him a 1 and a 2. What they gave up.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
And you're married to the quarterback that can be
married to the quarterback.
But I tell you,
good. His teammates don't even like him.
The funniest thing was, if you watch my morning video, was somebody messed with Colin Cowherd. So he was trying to defend Russell Wilson and how Sean Payton's going to be the difference maker. So he went through and he said, let's just take out this year and look at the last 4 years of his numbers and so on. And he said, we'll find the next 3 quarterbacks that have similar numbers and we'll compare it. And the funny thing is the first person that came up was Dak Prescott's numbers. If you take out this year, okay, because he was talking about elite quarterbacks and stuff that are comparable. And it comes up and he's kind of like, Dak? Like, he was surprised, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, right.
But he's got an offensive-minded coach and things like that. And all. So he was trying to downplay it. So it was him, it was Aaron Rodgers, and it was Pat Mahomes. And so he was trying to say, if you were to take these other elite quarterbacks having a bad year, would you say they were worse? But he got caught into the whole thing that Dak Prescott's numbers are actually really good. It's just the only thing they've got is the interceptions. That's all they got. And that's
only this year, Mark.
That's what I know.
That's
but
only
it's
this
what they
year.
do every year.
I was critical because, it was a rough year. We needed him to be at the top of his game but in the end, we weren't catching Philly. So he was injured. We did well. I think we did as well as we could have done. I think we should have beaten the Niners. I don't know that we were going in Philly and winning. I just don't. Especially without Pollard. If we would have somehow won that game, that was a hornet's nest. I told you that just happens. That's a tough place to play. I mean, I would have liked to have seen it because I'm a Cowboy fan, but it is what it is. It's over.
Shout out to Oscar.
Listen, I just want to bring up something. I know it's a touchy subject, but we got plenty of time here. If this was a Cowboy player, It would be all over the news. We would be hearing about what a piece of crap organization is. But this Josh Sills rape that he got arrested for, he's a backup tackle for the Eagles, and it's being pushed under the rug. I don't see Twiz in here, but if you read the details of this, he's going to jail.
But he's not a starter. He only started one game.
It doesn't matter.
That's what they would say.
How many times did a Cowboy get arrested and it was us? See, there they go again. It's that organization, the White House, and all the BS.
Oh, I know about Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon pulling a gun to the girls.
Charges were dropped, though.
Oh, was it?
But it doesn't matter.
Dropped.
It doesn't matter. You know how TMZ got their name just off of the backs of Cowboys, off of Crawford in a bar fight. It's just kind of crazy. But shout out to Oscar here. All Cowboy fans need to keep faith. The Cowboys will win the Super Bowl soon. Oscar, I appreciate the super chat on that one. We'll need an intervention of the Joneses. I'm hoping that the Joneses are actually looking at this and saying, we've done it our way, trying to pick the coaches and stuff, and now we're going to let Mike McCarthy do that they're actually going to let football people try to handle things. But if they're doing the cap and the player acquisition in the same regard and don't use free agency, it's going to be the same results. Because ultimately, you can look at all the teams that are there. They're not teams that aren't lacking talent. They're not. And as good as we are at drafting players, it's just not enough. There's just not enough picks that you can get. You're only going to get about 2 or 3 that can be impact players. If you're looking and saying our 4th and 5th round draft picks are going to be players that are going to be important to us, you've already lost. You just can't. So I have hopes. I believe the fact that we've had back-to-back 12-win seasons, if the Joneses don't look and say, well, damn, we did that without really a lot of talent on the offense, what if we can get the offensive line stronger and get ourselves another real weapon?
Yeah.
Then I can say, yeah, you got a chance. At least we're not playing the first place schedule, right? That'll help. And, the Eagles will have the target on their back.
And I want to ask Brian, is there any offensive line in free agency that you have looked that might be affordable or be worth to paying the money for to plug in that left guard?
Brian, are you still there?
I don't know about free agency, but I know I can say one person I'd like to have is the the big Thanos from Ohio State. Put him in there over there, tackle, and move Tyler Smith over to guard. Yeah. But I don't think he'll be off the board way before we get to him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I think the Buckeyes have at least 2 offensive linemen in the draft, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah,
I haven't scoured the free agents, but I don't know that I see us.
Oh, snap!
What?
Happy birthday to David Wiley. What's up, David? Man. Happy birthday, man! Why didn't you let a brother know? Happy birthday, buddy! And
I didn't see us. I don't see us going out and signing a free agent lineman, but it's possible. I think there's a better chance to bring back McGovern, but I think you'll see us draft linemen, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'd rather do that because linemen are expensive. I'm really impressed with how Beatas played this year. He stepped up like I said he needed to and get stronger. I thought he had a great year. I think Tyler Smith was a big hit. He started wearing out, I think, by the end of the year. I think that's what we saw. But I think that, I think we'll get a couple linemen in this draft. I think you'll see us move around. I think we'll get more than one. So that's where I would go. I would try and bring back McGovern. I don't think he's going to get a huge deal. So, I think and bring back Steele. I think Steele was playing at a Pro Bowl level before he got hurt. So,
right.
I'm a little like mystified as to why we're bringing back the 41-year-old and Tyron Smith.
Jason
I don't know
Peters.
what we're doing. Yeah, I don't know why they would say, "Oh yeah, we want them both back." But like Mark said, that doesn't mean that they're going to be back. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys something. What do you think about us trading back in the draft? I mean, we got the 26th pick.
I'm always one for, unless there is a, great player that you say, this is one of the guys that we are really high on our draft board. I've always been one that's been happier about moving back. You think of us moving back for Micah Parsons, and we ended up getting, although I thought we should have gotten more for moving back, but getting the 3rd round pick, which was Goldston, which was another, guy. You think about in 2012 or 2013, when we drafted Travis Frederick, we moved back and traded with San Francisco and got Terrence Williams with the 3rd round pick in there as well. So, getting extra picks, we need bodies that are going to be decent bodies.
What I like about the trading back is you open yourself up to the players that you wouldn't necessarily take, whether it be in round 2, because you get that extra pick. Mm-hmm. And then like what I mean by that is a safety, a real good safety, or that real good corner that's like maybe the tail end of the first 5 guys or 6 guys. Because usually you're either going to get the one guy in the first, and then especially where we're picking, we're at the bottom of the first round. We're at the bottom of the second round. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. But you weren't here, James. I was already on board saying I don't think he'll be there, but he's a generational talent, and it's a game changer. If Bijan Robinson is there at 26, I think you have to take him. Now, people can say, well, really, really? Well, then you wouldn't bring back Pollard. You would go with Bijan is a higher talent than even Zeke was when he came out. That's a fact. Is that what we need? I don't know that we don't need it. We need it, I'm just saying I want to stick and take the best guy in the first round. If not, then let's bail out of there and let's trade back. But who's going to want to come up to the first round at that point? Maybe for a quarterback? I don't know. It's a little early, but I would love to be able to trade that pick for Diggs. I'm on record. I want Diggs. Brian here wants Hopkins for like a 2. I don't know. Would you do that, James? Would you do Hopkins?
Hold on. Sharif Tinsley. Shout out to a new Superfan member. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the madness that is the Joe Boo Sports Report.
Oh, okay. Now, welcome to the Superfan.
Tinsley, make sure you go to the community tab there. In there is a welcome post for all of you great channel members. And it's a link to our Thrive site, so that way we can get you your Superfan merchandise to you. We appreciate you very, very much. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
No, good. I was just asking what they thought about those 2 receivers.
I would take Hopkins.
Take Hopkins. Yeah.
Hopkins and give up a second.
I mean, him and CD Lamb.
Odell.
Hey, listen, you could do this too. You could get Hopkins for a 2 and then trade the 1 and get your 2 back. But you could do that.
Well,
maybe get it. I know. I don't know, man. We'll see.
Well, the way I heard from Jeff, what's his name, that works on the Texas, one of the Texas radio show. He said there's rumors about Michael Thomas from the Saints.
Yeah, he'll probably be gone.
No, yeah, he'd be too expensive though. I mean, right. I'd like him.
Is he healthy enough? You think? I guess he's just as healthy as what's his name, Odell.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, he's way better than Odell.
You think still?
I wouldn't trust that. He make too much money and he stay hurt all the damn time.
Yeah, that's why I wanted Diggs, but I don't see it happening.
He had toe surgery and was out for the rest of the season after playing the first 3 games. First 3 games, he had 16 catches, 171 yards, 10.7 yards average. Now, there was some funny stuff that was going on with the team that a lot of people didn't like. Andy Dalton being the starting quarterback and felt that Jameis Winston should have had a chance. Yeah. And I had heard that a lot of the players were injured a lot more than they really were. if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Lisa, what's up, Lisa? Yeah, basically, as a, my foot is still hurt. I can't play. Protesting. The Big Steel says Mike Evans. Well, this will be actually. You think about this. This will be interesting.
Nah, we don't
see.
need a
what some
guy.
teams may do. Okay, so here it is. You had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that were built for Tom Brady and things that are probably in cap issues that are saying we got to start over now. We don't have a quarterback, right? No. And they may end up looking at that and saying it's time to cut some of these higher priced talents and seeing what we can do as far as getting more talent.
Gabe Davis. You're talking about Gabe Davis, Oscar? Yeah, the other wide receiver from the Bills. Yeah, they're not getting rid of Gabe Davis. He's arguably I want to see Dallas be creative and not just say, well, we're either drafting or we're going to get a high-priced free agent. I think you can find a trade partner. I think in this day and age.
Oh, God, no. Why did I just do this?
Carr, do you want Carr? He's in the head coach too much. Is that what you're talking about, C. Brown?
Oh, my God. I have to laugh at this. Okay, so I was looking, because at the free agent market, right? I said, let me look at the best free agents at wide receiver, right? And guess what comes up as the first player on the list?
You tell me.
Noah Brown. Noah Brown, 27, Cowboys, 43 catches, 555 yards.
I hope somebody
oh, God, no.
Hey, I like this running back, for the national team. Or no, I guess it's the American team, Rodriguez. He's out of Kentucky. I really like this kid. I liked him in college. He's in there now.
Oh, God.
Well, he just...
Okay, so they're saying...
He just fumbled. Well, no, that was the quarterback. He fell into him. There's Jerry's guy.
All right, so this is supposedly the best wide receivers, free agents that are out there right now. Noah Brown at 10. Jarvis Landry at 9, 30 years old. Stop me if you want anybody. Marvin Jones, 33. Mecole Hardman, 25.
He's always hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not playing the Super Bowl next week, as a matter of fact.
Paris Campbell.
Nope.
With Colts.
No.
DJ Clark. Darius Slayton.
I like Darius, but I'd rather go young nah.
Alan Lazard.
Nah.
No.
Juju.
Nah.
And Jacoby Myers.
No, thank you.
That's your free agency pool of wide receivers. Well, and Odell.
Teams are going to try and be creative, though. I'm telling you, if you could offer Buffalo, or you could, Hopkins, I know you could get from Arizona. There's a lot of guys out there, so we can't just look at the free agents. Look at what the Eagles did in the draft. Blew everybody out of the water, and got A.J. Brown. And, let's give them credit. A.J. Brown is a young player, too.
But that's
so not only did they give a one, they gave a one for a young player.
You're not taking the notice that that's being bold and taking risk.
I know.
And they got a 10th round pick.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to do stuff like that.
And I feel like in the draft, there's going to be a surprise trade again this year.
There's always going to be moves to be had. Just like we need to figure out what we're doing with our D line. Neville Gallimore was in the doghouse for most of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I thought I was expecting a breakout year from him.
Me
really
too.
Was.
So if we're not going to use him, or he doesn't fit with Dan Quinn, then we need to trade him. He's got value. I'm not saying that I want to trade him, but if we're not going to use the guy, he was inactive for a couple games coming down the stretch. Quentin Bohannon, I think he's probably staying, but he's another guy that was inactive a lot last year and again this year.
Cowboys. Sean Ridgeway.
Yeah, I know. Well, we called that one. You finally drafted a guy, and because he didn't come out of the gates like gangbusters, oh my God, he's a young player. Are we surprised? But look, he was playing against us. He was commanding, two guys on the line of scrimmage. I mean, he got hurt, but he was a young, talented guy. So that they probably won't draft another one of those guys anytime soon.
Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones just need to stay the F out the way.
Yeah, they have a hard time doing that. It's ridiculous.
Well, they like the limelight, and I mean, the truth of the matter is, they're the most valuable franchise in football. So, I mean, what else is a Super Bowl trophy going to do for you? You're always talked about. In fact, I dare say, the fact that you're failing probably gets more people talking about you than if you were successful. Last thing people want to do is talk about the Cowboys being successful.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, how are we feeling about Brian Schottenheimer? Is the consensus that this is about the right move?
Well, seeing that Mike McCarthy is going to be calling the plays, it really don't matter who we have an offensive coordinator.
You want him to be comfortable, and that's his Schottenheimer's his guy. We got rid of the last remaining piece in the Garrett era. I'm fine with it. It just makes it easier because if it works, great. If it don't, okay, you got to go, Mike. You're calling the plays now. There's no more excuses.
Well, here's my question.
And now we'll see them go out and get somebody.
Here's my
because
question.
It's on Mike now.
Is this Jerry Jones hiring it, or is this Mike McCarthy saying that's the guy I want?
I think it's Mike McCarthy.
Because I
He
hope
was a
it's
consultant
Mike McCarthy.
before. Wasn't he the consultant this year?
He was. I was telling them he was basically his job in Dallas was not necessarily to help McCarthy. It was to help Dan Quinn. He was working. He would roll up every week a game plan to beat Dan Quinn. For the opposing team. He's a smart guy, so I think he'll be fine being McCarthy's offensive coordinator. But it's already out there that McCarthy's going to call the plays. So
yeah,
it's fine. It just makes it easier. Now you got no one else to blame. I'm not looking to get rid of McCarthy, but Dallas had the biggest coaching staff. I saw some of the salaries of how much we were paying these guys. Do you know that they were paying the offensive line coach $4 million?
Why?
What's his name? What was his name?
Joe Philbin.
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 They were paying McCarthy, I think, 7 or 6, and Dan Quinn they upped it to 5. But I mean, they had a 27. I mean, they got rid of George Edwards. And they still, he wasn't doing nothing. They still got the ex-Giants coach in there. That's McCarthy's old boy from Pittsburgh. McAdoo. Yeah, Ben McAdoo's still there. You got...
I thought he was with the Carolina Panthers.
No, he's with us.
Did he come back? He was the offensive coordinator with Carolina.
McAdoo? Yeah. No, that's... that was the other guy. We lost a quarterback.
That's Nussmeier.
Nussmeier's gone, yeah.
Yeah, but Ben McAdoo was the offensive coordinator of Carolina last year.
Yeah, he was a consultant here last year.
Yeah, he was our...
Then Schottenheimer took over.
Yeah, but I was told that McAdoo's still there. No, he's not there?
No, he was the offensive coordinator.
No, he went to Carolina.
Okay. All right, well then, my bad. But you still got Joe Witt. So he's still there, who I thought if Dan Quinn left, that would have been your D coordinator.
Who's this old school lineman coach that we brought back that was here from during the Landry days? What's his name?
Solari.
Yeah.
Solari.
Yeah.
He looks like the captain. When he had his beard, he looked like the captain from the Titanic.
Yeah, he does. Okay. I just hope he's not on the staying on the ship.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's also a Mike
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
No, it's can you smell
the
what the stinking sports entertainment is cooking?
I got Rashid up in the house. Him and Michael are going to be doing some work here tonight on the channel. Well, they're into wrestling. The football season is over.
Yeah, I do wrestling. I mean, I'm into wrestling too.
Okay.
Did they like the Royal Rumble or what?
Do you like the World Rumble?
I like the girls. That's all I watch it for is the girls.
Oh, their first podcast. Is that what? Okay. I were just. I am wrestling illiterate here, so I understand. I ain't got that kind of time. I got shit to do.
Yeah, I was friendly with George Animal Steel. He lived in Atlantic City.
We did what?
Do you need a microphone?
Why? Because he has familiarity with Mike McCarthy. He did
Charlotte
great things
Flair.
with the 3 years he was the offensive coordinator with Seattle.
I can't stand her.
Y'all would
I like her.
Get Brian
I like her.
Schottenheimer than Kellen Moore? Are you serious?
Because let's see, this is, we got the stinking Giant fan here. No, because you have to understand that there was a difference in philosophy of Kellen Moore versus Mike McCarthy. We're shifting from the Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan, Kellen Moore, we don't know shit about playoffs philosophy to going to the West Coast offense.
Schottenheimer has the same playoff record as Kellen Moore.
Okay, here's the thing, though. We're not saying that he is going to be the offensive coordinator that's calling the plays. We are changing systems, and we're getting people that are familiar. Yes.
Tell your son and them I got this right here.
Wait. Look. He's got the WWE belt here.
I got my own custom belt.
All right.
All right.
There you go. All right, so definitely then. When is this edition of your podcast going to be out?
Tonight, then we're going to be doing a live stream too. Yeah, we're going to do it.
You're doing a live stream tonight?
We're doing a live stream and a podcast.
Okay. All right. What time are y'all doing that?
We're going to do the podcast probably within the next hour. And
okay.
The live stream is probably the next couple of hours.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Well, I've got actually a special video I have to do tonight too. With somebody, but I can probably set up elsewhere. It's an interview with, we're just going to call it the rope-a-dope. That's what I'm going to tease it a little bit. The rope-a-dope. And anybody out there that's a hater of Mark Holmes and a fan of Stan's will understand the meaning of the rope-a-dope. Think about that. A little teaser there. Content stealing, being accused of rope-a-dope. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna leave that right there. Y'all know once you see James. It. Okay. All right. So back to Rashid, of course, because the Giants do everything right. Says that.
Okay. Oh, you got that right there,
Brian Schottenheimer.
Come on, baby, let's go.
Brian
that's the Ultimate Warrior one, ain't
look. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's the Intercontinental.
I see. Look at this.
Oh, okay.
Rashid, look what the hell you done started over here. Everybody pulling out the damn belts and shit. What the?
Come on, man. Come on, Fizzle. This is a belt.
Look at.
All right, make sure y'all subscribe now.
He put a big star right here.
Okay.
The IC belt. This is the real.
Come on, man. Me and James come in there and run that shit. Oh, sorry.
So now I gotta get a campaign going to get me a belt now.
Oh, Lordy. Look.
I want to get the NXT belt.
The underprivileged get a belt.
You get a belt. You get a belt.
Oh, Lordy. Please help.
Yeah. I actually
is a die-hard wrestling fan.
UFC stuff. I'm a big
but
UFC
he's starving for a belt.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Brian, my friend, he has the yellow one. He's a Giants fan, but he had the yellow one.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I actually, I'm not as much as I used to be in the WWE, but as long as we can get Vince McMahon out of the way, I think it was starting to get better.
I just like looking at the women, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I miss AJ Lee.
There's women.
Yeah, there you go, Mark.
Zeke was the right pick. They wasted his talent with Dak. Okay.
We've wasted a lot of people, I feel like. That's why I said let's do a different
DeMarcus
thing.
Ware,
Man.
we wasted
Let's
Jason
go young
Witten
with the running
Tony.
backs. Let's keep the defense and build up our O-line and go out and get me a number one receiver that's already playing. That's what I want.
Give me that. And another offensive lineman, okay? And a tight end. And then let's see what happens.
I just hope they're more aggressive in free agency. That's all. Than they were last year.
they're not going to do that.
David Wiley.
We got the U.S. title.
U.S. title. Uh-oh.
Make sure it wasn't anything more than that. Probably trying to make sure it wasn't kind of.
You know what's funny to me is Cowboy fans would be on board with saying, let's just spend a boatload of money and get rid of Dak Prescott, right? But I don't hear him saying, how about we just spend some money and get some weapons to go around Dak Prescott?
Athletic trainer.
At some point, you have to just say, I just hate Dak Prescott. It doesn't matter what you do. That's what you might as well go ahead and just say.
Being tough, but also showing a little sympathy from time to time.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
What is that in the background? Is somebody actually talking or is somebody listening to TV?
I think that's got to be Terrell Pinckney.
Okay.
Oh, I loaded. My bad.
Okay. I was trying to understand if Joe Boo Sports, tell the people to stop talking bad about our quarterback. If he was a white QB, would they be saying the same thing? Ooh.
Yeah, Romo got buried. So, yeah, I don't know.
Dak has accomplished just as much as Romo, and he hasn't been there as long
Okay,
as Romo.
all right. Move on from Dak. I'm sorry. You're just an idiot because Dak had weapons and did nothing. Okay, so you're telling me that Noah Brown he's starting in the Super Bowl for, the Chiefs? Is that what we're saying? Are we saying that Dalton Schultz is on?
I didn't hear all this after the Tampa game.
No, well, no, of course, Dak Prescott haters, they lie low. They lie. But move on from Dak. We know who that is, don't we? That's probably Stan. Welcome, Stan.
I was critical of Dak, but you have to keep it in perspective. You can be critical. That doesn't mean you want to get rid of him. Everybody's eligible to be. I criticize Stephen Jones. I criticize Jerry. We always criticize the offensive coordinator who's no longer here, Kellen Moore. He's not above criticism, but he's our quarterback. Let's stop. Come on, man.
And you can bitch and moan all you want, but that ain't going to change.
Listen, last year at this time, the Jalen Hurts was a laughing stock. Mm-hmm. They got embarrassed in Tampa Bay. Okay, all of a sudden, he's the best quarterback since sliced bread. It's no coincidence that he's that good because of the team he has around him. That doesn't mean that's a bad thing.
Yep.
That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a good thing. Why can't we do that?
Right.
Because we suck.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Because we got Jerry we got Catboy.
They were prepared to draft another quarterback. They were prepared to draft another quarterback, the Eagles.
Yeah, well, yeah. They had
now, welcome to the $50 million club. You watch. I almost hope it's hard for me to root for the Eagles, but I can guarantee you this. If the Eagles win it all, people are going to be like, I want to get paid. They're not going to hang around. They got their Super Bowl, some of them guys. People might retire. Good luck. And now you got to pay your quarterback?
Yep.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't see the Chiefs beating Philly.
Either do I.
I hate
okay.
that.
I don't either, but
and FYI, for all those
too loaded. The Chiefs,
they are loaded, man.
I think Chiefs do win because I think Mahomes will. Not Mahomes. I think Hurts will make a mistake before.
I just think their offensive line and defensive line is too strong. I think the Eagles are going to get lucky again, and I don't mean lucky that they are there, but they're going to probably hurt Mahomes.
They're a complete team.
They're going to sack him early, be hobbling around. They'll play. It's. Anyway, what were you going to say, Mark?
It's when you ask people, when people talk about how bad Dak is, and you ask them what's the solution, they'll say go get Aaron Rodgers. I'll say okay, well Aaron didn't exactly light it up this year, or they'll say go get Lamar Jackson. Now I don't know if you guys have seen the projected salary for him, like $250 million,
and he's going to stay. I don't think he's going anywhere.
$52 million a year.
Wait to see what Daniel Jones gets,
or wait to get what Joe Burrow gets.
But Joe Burrow, I would say, would deserve it. What he did, they had a lot of talent, but he had no offensive line by the end of the year. You got to give Joe Burrow credit, but Daniel Jones is going to get market value. It'll be more than Dak. He won a playoff game, or he won't be there. He's a free agent too, and he did not get a ringing endorsement from his coach. So wherever he goes, he's going to get paid. So, I think it's hysterical because now we're talking about Dak. Now Dak's going to be a middle of the road guy. He's going to be a top 15,
but he'll get an extension, which will probably bump it up.
But that'll help the team. I'm fine with that, man. The quarterbacks. Does everybody know who we had from Aikman to Romo, who we lucked into Romo? Did you see the litany of quarterbacks that we've had in that time period?
Quincy Carter, who else?
Clint Sterner, Drew Bledsoe. Go ahead, Mark. You rattled them off the other day. It's on and on and on.
Anthony Wright.
Anthony Wright. Matt Castle. Well, that was a quickie, but yeah.
Drew Bledsoe. We had Ryan Leaf. Drew Henson was another one.
And Birdie.
Vinny Testaverde, good call. I mean, it was on and on. I know we're forgetting a lot.
Steve McGee.
Yeah, Randall Cunningham for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. He wasn't the ultimate weapon for us, though.
And of all,
who's that guy we got from the Browns that was a bust?
Bernie Kosar.
No, after him.
Oh,
here, let me give you the.
He came from Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah. He played. He was our backup a couple years ago.
So don't forget, we had Jason Garrett too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Jason Garrett, Randall Cunningham, Anthony Wright, Quincy Carter, Ryan Leaf, Clint Stoner, Chad Hutchinson, Quincy Carter,
Hutchinson, that's
Vinny Testaverde, Drew Henson, Drew Bledsoe. Okay, and then of course we had Tony Romo who took over with. Then we had Brad Johnson for a little bit.
Brandon Whedon.
We had John Kitna. We had Stephen McGee. We had Kyle Orton and Brandon Wheaton, Matt Castle, and Kellen Moore. So there you go. And even in the time during Dak Prescott, we had Ben DiNucci, and we did. And
I'll be looking forward to see him play. What's he playing in the XFL or is he playing in the USFL?
So.
I get confused.
Mike Nolan got hired as a coach to replace Jeff Fisher for Michigan. In the USFL too.
USFL. I know. Yeah. Well, I know that what's his name is playing in one of those. I think it's USFL probably. It may be the XFL. I don't know. But he's going to quarterback one of the teams.
What is the other league playing? Rocks League.
That's XFL.
Yeah, it's the XFL.
When is that coming out?
I'm not sure.
It's coming out soon. I think it's next month. It might be March. I think March or April is coming out.
Because
I think he's in there.
Oh, it's February 18th. Okay, so it's snap. Okay, because I was with
John
Rashid and everybody and all that.
Good call.
We were at the very first game. It was actually the Washington Defenders game, freezing our ass off at the soccer stadium in D.C. And it was the week after the Super Bowl.
Cardell Jones. Wow.
Let me look. You know what? I might just week one. Let's see.
That was
the Vipers.
XFL, Mark. That was year 4 last because I remember.
That's what I said. That's what I'm talking about.
He hate me.
So the 18th, Orlando. Is there a team in DC again?
Yeah, there is. The Defenders. Yeah, the Defenders. Same team. The guard, the one.
Oh, wait a minute.
They just changed coaches.
Oh, they. Oh my goodness. Sunday, 8 p.m. Shit, that'll be cold.
No. The
wait a minute.
Squad went to Florida.
8 p.m. on ESPN. Yeah. Do I want to go to a Sunday night football outside?
No, yours, the squad that was playing.
No. Just stream it. I'll come on with you. It'll be fun.
I don't know, but I might be able to stream it from the stadium.
Oh, you're an idiot, man. You're gonna go out there and freeze your buns off for that. Come on, man. Stay home in your cave.
You're an idiot.
I don't know. Look, the tickets are only.
I don't remember telling you.
General admission tickets are $18. Front row,
that's a bargain.
Front row is $24.
That's before you.
Oh, we're there.
Seriously,
I don't know.
Section 111. Wait a minute. Let me see.
Let's go there. We'll wear our Dallas shit, and then
Seriously, all the tickets are $24. Now, I mean, I can buy a polar suit. I've got my work suit. Listen, I've got a work jumpsuit that I had when we were building this duplex.
Buy one of those
it was like 17 degrees outside. It was so cold. I had literally like icicles coming off my mustache.
Yeah, nah, man.
Putting on a roof. I can do it.
I know you could do it, but
I think that would
smoke for you or 14 you. Smoke 14 you. What up, Mark? Me being a Carolina fan, please let's wait 2 more years for Dak because I want Drake May to work behind him and take over. My lord, he is nice.
Okay. All right, smoke for you. Smoke 14 for you. All right. You haven't spoken one fact yet. Move on from Dak. You know nothing. You've just been speaking. Wait a minute. LA Lakers show. Who are you talking to on that one? Because this is where it's always funny because they'll go through and they'll say, just go get Lamar Jackson. It's like, but that's $52 million.
If we're looking at the facts, though, LA, Dak was at the top of the league numbers wise. So, but we're actually going above that. We knew he had an interception problem this year, which was the first time in his career. I'm willing to give the guy a pass. He's we've already know the quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Why would you want to get rid of Dak Prescott right now? That wasn't the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't. You could sit there and be like clickbaiter and say, "Ooh, Dak's got to go." No, we don't. I'm a little concerned though. Did you see after the game he broke up with his girl? Come on, man.
From what I'd heard, they were actually broke up before then. That was just when it was announced.
I'm like, damn, man, don't take it out on the girl. She was with you through.
Maybe he can date the Real Housewife chick off the DirecTV commercial.
Oh. Yeah, maybe get some of Giselle. She was good luck for Tom for a while. Just stay away from the Kardashians.
Please don't. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. Damn.
They killed what's his name's career. Miles.
You don't want that. They have crippled every professional athlete they have been with.
Remember Miles? What's his
Miles
name?
Austin. He was one with Kardashians.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, he was with Kim.
No, he
blew
wasn't
a
with
hammy,
Kim.
but that was in the off season. But I'm pumped.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Is anybody actually paying attention to the?
Not really.
Not really.
Too good of a conversation.
Okay.
There you go. Another one for you. Smoke 14.
Actually, like Dak, don't want him gone. Need a quarterback behind him that's worth a damn. Not a recheck quarterback,
Dak's not the problem.
I would just like to say, if the Cowboys would just do what the Eagles did for Jalen Hurts, just try that. Because here's the thing. If you do that and it doesn't work for Dak, then fine. Pull the trigger and try and find another quarterback.
Exactly.
That'll work.
Exactly.
At least you have that in place. But, don't think that we can keep just getting rid of people and saying we're going to be great. Because and it's not like we haven't had this experience before. We got rid of Des Bryant. And we were averaging 183 yards passing a game until we got Amari Cooper, in which case we went up to 250 yards a game. So it's not like we haven't seen the difference of this. It's not like it's, breaking news that you need talent. Everybody should know that.
Yeah, I was looking at Chris Taylor's post. He said Jerry Jones is in love with Max Dugan, but I don't think Dugan's going to make it in the NFL. I really don't.
Yeah, but that's the kind of value pick that he like to make. He'll be like that. He'll be like the next Dak Prescott. He might have
one good year, but
I think they just like to hear themselves talk. I mean, I don't know. I haven't gotten into mocks yet and when he's projected to go. I'm not opposed to getting a quarterback. I think it's always good to get a young quarterback. You're going to lose Cooper Rush. Yes, people, we're losing Cooper Rush. Let's get it in our heads. We're not bringing him back. Like we got Will Greer, and we should draft a young guy. We should always be looking because you never know. You do your homework. In a playoff, look at Brock Purdy. He was Mr. Irrelevant, right?
We didn't know
if he
about
didn't
Dak
get
Prescott
hurt, he probably would have beat the Eagles. Sorry.
If Romo would have never got hurt, we would have never knew about Dak.
Yep. Exactly.
I had had Romo not gotten hurt at the time he did, because sometimes it's the situation that you have. Dak Prescott was fortunate the way it happened. If Dak Prescott, because listen, he got the chance to actually, play in preseason, to really be, brought into it and all that. Let's say Cooper Rush never broke his ankle, and Tony Romo gets hurt the first week, and then Cooper Rush comes in and gets hurt, and now we're going to play you having had quarterback 3 reps. That's when guys fail. You didn't have any opportunity to actually be brought into it, but he was coached up before the season started, and he didn't have a chance for Jason Garrett to ruin him.
Well, exactly. And did you remember back then with the whole book on Dak he was a horrible practice player. It wasn't until he got in the game and actually played. He was a horrible practice player, but he stepped up in the games. Damn, Smoke Team.
He's hitting it good.
14. Yeah.
2 years might be the next year because it could come out next year. I know Dak will be good in the West Coast offense for sure. Shout out to Smoke for you.
He's lighting it up, man.
I'm serious.
But yeah, that was the thing with Dak. He wasn't a good practice player. Remember, he had a horrible camp.
God.
He was inaccurate, but then he got in the game and made plays, which is why I've been saying now that we're removed from the foot injury, the leg injury, that he needs to get back to that. Remember how we were hearing how, man, he don't look mobile at all. He don't look mobile at all. Then all of a sudden in the playoffs, he looked pretty damn mobile. So I think Dak is finally back. The interceptions were they weren't a norm. There was an anomaly. That's not with Dak. Dak was actually great with interceptions. Everybody just forgets he had 37 touchdowns last year and 10 interceptions.
LA Lakers show. That's what I
throwing to Noah Brown.
Yeah, right. LA Lakers show. That's what I thought you were talking about with somebody else.
I mean, he wasn't throwing to people who weren't wide open either. He was throwing in tight situations.
Well, that's another thing. Like you look at good offenses like the Eagles, the Niners, the Kansas City Chiefs. There's people running wide open.
Oh my! Because they have so many weapons. Listen, you got a great running back in Christian McCaffrey. You got a multi-purpose tool in Debo. I mean, you start looking.
Brandon Ayuk, who's probably their best receiver.
Right.
It's
to mention their tight end. George Kittle. It's like, of course they're running wide open. You can't cover all those guys.
But the Eagles are just like that with Devontae and AJ and Dallas Goedert and the running backs.
We had, at best, two guys you had to worry about it. You had CD and Tony Pollard. That was it. Mm-hmm. You're not scared that Noah Brown is going to beat you. In fact, you're hoping that they throw to Noah Brown because then you got a chance for a pick. You're not afraid of Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, I've seen him on the sidelines uncontested dropping passes. These aren't game-changing players. Those teams have dynamic game-changing players. That's why Brock Purdy can come into a situation where he's got the best tackle in football in Trent Williams, and he's got 4 outstanding playmakers.
Yeah, and
that makes a difference.
And what we had, I think we could have use them better. I honestly do, because I was crying all year for them to have, especially after they got T.Y., have T.Y. on one side, have Turpin on the other, and just send them up the field, and then just have CeeDee Lamb in the slot, work in the middle. Mm-hmm. Somebody going to be open.
Right.
But our offensive coordinator, now this is when they can't run the ball. Everybody's playing up. Guys can't get off of their jam. Mm-hmm. Send them up the field. At the very least, it's going to open even more up. But that these guys are going to get open. And with Kellen Moore, they just refused to do that. So it'll be interesting. This whole West Coast, what version we see, I'm excited for it, but it'll be interesting. It's something it'll be a work in progress, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have it worked out by the time the season starts.
Yeah. Well, at least, it's who knows what the season's going to be like, but at least we have a new offense that we're going to be looking at. We at least can be talking about the possibilities of some change, and that alone just makes me excited right there that we are finally turning the page on Scott Linehan, Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore's offense. Thank God.
Absolutely. What's Joe DeMasi got to say? What's up, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just been chilling. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about maybe going after Darren Waller? I know that we're pretty good at tight end.
Darren Waller's a beast. I love Darren Waller. He's been hurt lately.
He can play in the slot.
Mm-hmm. He's a beast. I would be into that. Here's the deal. You're not going to have to pay Darren Waller much more than what you would have to pay Dalton Schultz. In my mind, they're not even close. Darren Waller is a beast, and he was coming off a major injury last year and still had a good year. Banged up at times. Remember, he got the soft tissue issue late in the year. But I'm down with that. I'd rather
he did
do
pretty
that.
Good with Stidham, You know, with Carr, he didn't really have a good thing, but with Stidham, he didn't do that bad. Yeah.
Shoot. I'm in.
I love him.
Yeah. So, but it's the Cowboys.
Offensive. Yeah, right. That's the thing.
We'll see.
You gotta look at, the draft is the most important thing for Dallas. So
yeah, because it's not like free agency is.
Right.
But you know what I remember though? I will give Steven and Jerry, and I think it's Will. I think I will give them this credit. Sometimes too much, but they will allow the coach or the coordinator to say, I want this guy. How many times did we see, what's his name is no longer there, the defensive coordinator, Rod Marinelli? He would say, oh, I don't need a top-notch guy, but give me this guy. And they would constantly go out and get the guys that their coaches wanted.
David Irving.
Yeah, so it's up to McCarthy to say, I want this guy. He needs to step up. You just can't let Jerry and Steven say, "Oh, this is he'll look good as a Cowboy." No, you need to step up if you want to run your offense. You know as well as I do, Joe, that a dominant tight end in the West Coast is a must. You have to have a dominant tight end, and I don't know if Ferguson's ready to do that. So
that's one thing people fail to forget in the West Coast offense. You got to have a dominant tight end.
I'd rather do what Joe said. That's a great call, man. I didn't. Is he a free agent or we have to trade for him?
I think we have to trade for him.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
So I
the Joneses, they don't trade. They just.
I think he was just signed. I think he was just signed. Yeah, before last year.
Looking at his contract.
I don't think it's going to happen, Mark. I think he just signed a contract.
Yeah, he just did this past year because I think it was $14 million.
Yeah,
a big contract at that.
You got me all excited.
3 year, $51 million.
That doesn't mean
because he just
average salary of $17 million.
Yeah, he ain't coming here. But think about it, Mark. Him for 17 or Dalton for 13. It's not even close.
Now,
but you know who's going there.
Interesting was the Packers made a move to try and get him before the trade
at the deadline, right?
Yeah. But they failed.
Well, now the rumors Rodgers is going to Oakland.
Yeah.
So that could be fun.
What?
Yep, that's the rumor. Man. So he'll be reunited.
They don't have
with
the defense, I feel.
Well, Devontae Adams, and it seems like Adams has been kind of putting up, trying to say, I guess after Derek Carr, his buddy, you know what, maybe I didn't really want to go here.
Yeah.
He bought a house like right next door to Derek Carr.
I think you might see Derek Carr in Washington, where quarterbacks go to die.
I can see that. I can see
that. I'm sorry, but to me, he's overrated.
Jimmy G?
He is.
Watch Jimmy G might go to Tennessee or Washington.
Yeah, I can see that.
It'll be fun to talk about, that's for sure. It won't be a boring offseason.
I don't know.
Listen, I love this. Trade Dak for Derek Carr, a first and a fourth. Okay.
BJ, Smoke, I know you don't want my opinion, but Smoke 14, yeah. Mark, who you want, 26? Gibbs or BJ? You want
BJ
Robinson, man. He's a once in a lifetime player.
Okay.
So that's my opinion. I don't know who you like, Mark.
I don't know either of them because I'm just beginning to start looking at the college.
Bijan, man, Bijan. I ain't going up for him, but if he's there at 26, you run the card in. Move on.
Shout out to Bobby Ice. Even John Elway played 16 seasons as great as a player as he is. Didn't win it until his last 2 years.
And he won when he got Terrell
running
Davis.
Back. Mm-hmm.
and that zone blocking. The dude out of
Shannon Sharp. Can't forget Skip.
And those tight ends, right?
Yeah.
You have a saltwater.
And who was that receiver? I really liked him too.
Ed McCaffrey.
But the other one. Smith. I used to Rod Smith. I used to get him every year in fantasy, man.
There you go.
Kill it. Yeah, Rod Smith.
Yeah, there's a saltwater tank back there. I really need to clean it out. The fish have been there for years. I got they're huge. It's like no matter what I do, they won't die. But
yeah, I thought one time I went back there, Mark, when we were getting food. I thought I saw a fish running around with a glizzy in his mouth. Man,
they
they're
could.
getting big.
You could. Something like I've got this ghost goby that's like about 4 inches long. That's like, man, that thing's kind of big. It's like Mike, you might want to watch
feeding them glizzies.
Dak never had a running back. Okay, nobody said he didn't have a good running back.
Nah, he did.
But you know what?
Did.
When he did, okay. Here's what's kind of crazy is the offense has usually not been the problem for the Cowboys. It was usually the defense because we had to outscore people. But this year, I'm just going to say that when it comes to playoffs, it's a different animal.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
In the last 2 years in the playoffs, we couldn't run the football. We couldn't. Once we lost Tony Pollard, you had one weapon. Mm-hmm. One weapon. And I'm sorry, that just was not enough against San Francisco that had multiple weapons.
I'm ready to move on from all the running backs.
Stupid throw.
All we got to do is
look at
that.
Stupid throw.
The Joneses open their checkbook up. But we know that ain't going to happen.
Oh, damn. Pick 6. Damn.
What was that, James?
I said all we could do is pray that Jerry and Stephen Jones open their checkbook up this offseason.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen.
I want to build on our defense. I think we need a linebacker and a D-back. I love our safeties. I think we got to bring back most of the guys that we talked about. You got to bring back Hankins if you can. You got to bring back Donovan Wilson. Those two guys are a must. But I think, I'm really excited about our second round pick last year, the edge.
Sam Williams.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Sam. Him. So I think it's a must that we keep our defense intact, at least our main guys.
I like Dorrance Armstrong.
Dorrance is not going nowhere, just has a new deal.
Just got
the team be friendly.
Really.
As far as the Fowlers and all those guys, if you don't draft we could always get them later. If they're going to sign any kind of deal, well, thank you for your services. I think we keep the defense and obviously add to it, but the offense is the key. I think we got to bring back some of the offensive linemen, but I think you need to make some hard decisions. I think you let our right tackle, Tyron Smith. I think we need to save that money, man. We talked about earlier how much we could save by just getting rid of Tyron and Zeke. If they want to bring them back on a cheaper deal, that's fine. But if you could clear $45 million quick, and then we could go get that one big offensive weapon. I think we're not far away, man. But we need to be aggressive. We can't sit back like we did last year and hope that we can cheap ourselves into stuff. We might have to make a draft pick for a guy who's not happy with his team.
Mm-hmm. They can't wait till Black Friday. They got to get out there right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Cowboys. Exactly. Shout out to another one of the lovely ladies. Michael Anthony is the key of meltdown.
So I'm excited, but we need to do that. We can't let our defense. I don't think we will. I think our defense is a strong point, but we need to be better offensively or it's all for naught, man. You can't go into these games with Dak under duress and have one option. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be aggressive.
Game time, you just took the words out of my mouth because I was saying that last night. You got to look at it. Philadelphia twice.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay 2020.
Mm-hmm. Twice since us.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay was awful, got good, won a Super Bowl, got awful again, and then won another Super Bowl.
You got
they rebuilt it that quick. Yep.
You got to take risks now. These teams have leapfrogged us. Us.
It's not by a lot, but I will say this, Thomas. I was talking to a guy the other day, a Giant fan I work with actually, and we were both looking at each other, and he made a good point. And he said, every move, and this is rare, every move that the Eagles made they hit a home run.
They did. Every one, which is rare.
That never happens. So they're catching lightning in a bottle. They're not going to be able to keep. Now, offensively, they're going to be good because you can replace running backs. But we'll see what happens to Kelsey. He may retire. Lane Johnson, I don't know that he's retiring, but he's always got to have surgery. Mm-hmm. That could change quickly. But not only that,
Sanders is a free agent, and he's gonna.
Yeah, he ain't coming back.
No, he's not coming back.
Yeah, I was telling Mark they're paying $4 million.
He'll probably retire.
Yes, exactly. So it'll be different. It'll definitely be different. But they hit on everything. Everything. We got to give them credit. But come on, man.
But I just hate the annoying fans all the time.
No,
Right, James.
Tell me about it. I live 30 minutes away. I got my neighbors shooting off fireworks at halftime in the Niner game.
Mm-hmm. You know, I had to block people on Facebook.
They know who I am, so they open up their window and go, "How about them Eagles?" And they yell in my house and F the Cowboys.
Did y'all see the clip where the fans were standing on the bus stand and they fell through?
Oh yeah, I saw it. They have to grease the poles. Yeah, they greased all the poles in Philly because they were climbing up and destroying everything.
I was like, they was flying in, huh?
Yeah. So I had to grease my mailbox. No. But yeah, so they hit on everything, man. That's not going to happen usually. I give them credit, but they hit on every friggin' move they did, man. They went out and got the defensive end from the Colts, and what's his name? He's a Philly guy, and he had an unbelievable year. He had better stats than Micah Parsons.
They missed on the trade for Robert Quinn. That's about the only one.
And he was the worst of the bunch, and he still was there, ready to go if need be. He got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
But that was the worst of the moves. They went out and got A.J. Brown. Boom, Pro Bowler, unbelievable. They
got the 2 interior linemen.
That's the thing. That's it. They had an injury.
They did their homework.
They got 2 of them. They had Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous.
I wish our owners would do that, but they just sit back, and Stephen Jones is just so stubborn. And
they want to be the smartest guy in the room instead of being the best guy. They want to be the smartest guy. I just want to be the best one. So let's stop the clock on this 28-year BS and get one, and then you could sit there and be the smartest guy.
But you guys know what made what made Dallas so successful in the 90s is because they let Jimmy Johnson handle the player personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Stephen Jones wants to handle the player personnel.
Yep.
And I almost think they use Will McClay to their advantage.
They do. They just use him to
because we got Will. We got Will. But Will's giving them a sheet with names on it.
Yeah, and Stephen Jones is taking all the credit.
And then we're picking this guy because he fits. Because I know I have a contract coming up with this guy, and he'll replace him. Will McClay's just giving him the guys, and he's great at what he does. But Will McClay ain't pounding the table saying, "Absolutely not. We're going with this guy."
I don't understand what Stephen Jones is trying to prove, though. I mean, you're going to be the owner of the team, so what do you got to prove? Why don't you just sit back?
I still think his dad outlives him. I think Jerry outlives Stephen. I think we'll have Charlotte Jones pulling the trigger.
I can understand if he's fighting for a job, but he's invested in the Cowboys.
So. You think Jerry outlives Steven? Come on, man.
I think Jerry outlives Steven. Jerry's going to be 95. And in the war room, they're going to prop him up like Weekend at Bernie's. They're just going to pull strings. It's going to be good. But I don't know.
I was actually looking at the interview where Jerry Jones this past week with the hat and stuff on it, and I was just thinking,
start wearing some makeup, man. Them liver spots are really coming.
Oh man, he looked bad in that interview.
He does look bad.
And this is where I almost
7-Eleven wine.
This is where I almost look at this and say that maybe Jerry Jones, maybe he's having a change of heart. And looking at this and saying, let Mike McCarthy run this thing the way he wants to. This shit I'm doing ain't working, and I don't know how much time I got left.
Even if it's internally only, I'm fine with that because I don't think McCarthy's the type of guy who needs to have all the credit. As long as he went to Super Bowl, I think he's good. Whereas a Parcells, he wants to be able to, if he's making the dinner, he wants to be able to buy the groceries, and he wants to.
There's a lot to that because my wife will say,
he wants you to know that he bought the groceries.
It's like, no, honey, I need the stuff right now, and you're just gonna be 2 hours before you get back. And when you come back, the stuff I needed, it's not gonna be like the right one.
Yeah,
so it's like, no, I understand that analogy completely.
I do, but I think Parcells needed to have the recognition more. I don't see McCarthy as much like that. He likes to be quiet and do his own thing. As long as they're winning, he don't care. Go ahead, Jerry. But when they're not winning, that's when it gets contentious.
He was mad. You see him shove that cameraman after that loss.
Yeah.
If I was McCarthy, I would be, them like going and losing to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you guys remember seeing him slam his headset down. That was as upset as I've ever seen Mike McCarthy. They should have won that game. They were up 17 points. Just another example of Kellen Moore not knowing how to to call a game with the lead. Am I wrong? I mean, it was ridiculous.
And now the Chargers are going to go to the Super Bowl. It's just crazy. I can't believe they say that
comical.
about them. I mean,
it is comical. That Dak Prescott was holding back Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I think if Chargers have another season where they don't make the playoffs, that head coach is out, and Kellen Moore might be out too.
Hey, Mark, who was that?
I'm surprised he was back this year.
Who was that fan that you said, Mark, was a Cowboys fan that said he was leaving the Cowboys?
There was this guy who it was.
It looked like he needed to eat a sandwich.
He was literally, I'm done with the Cowboys and everything else, and he left it because he's going to a real team, the Chargers.
He was like he was in ketosis for about a year and a half.
It was like, damn, I left the Cowboys for this.
You know what? You know what I got to say about that?
What's that?
Let him go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably doing Cowboys Nations a favor. He may be that damn troll. Let him go.
Makes it City. No, I'm not down with giving $12 million to Tony Pollard. I'm not sure on that one. I would rather, if we were going to spend $12 million, use that towards getting ourselves a legitimate wide receiver. I know it's going to need more, and we're going to have to trade.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, like the more I think about it, if we can get Bijan, he's a generational talent. I think we need excitement again. I remember like when we drafted Zeke, how excited I was. If we can get another young guy and then just to keep Davis that we already have, Malik Davis, and then draft another one or get another unrestricted, I'd rather go that way and give Dak a weapon on the outside and go with a young back that's not making a lot. As much as I love Zeke, listen, man, you saw what happened.
Let me ask this question.
I'm with you, Derek Young.
If Bijan is
close,
think about it this
go
way.
Get him.
When was the last time a team went ahead and paid a running back a second contract and it worked out well for him?
You're right, and I got to give the Eagles credit because they identified that a long time ago where you don't pay a running back over 30.
Mm-hmm.
Now they did go out and get DeMarco Murray, and that backfired on them.
Mm-hmm.
But
look at
I'm not against bringing Pollard back. We'll see what happens in the draft. But he's hurt. I don't think Pollard's going to be.
But not only hurt, has a injury history, and we know he's not good for more than 20 touches a game.
Yeah. I know. That's why I'm really have changed. We need to allot our dollars. We need to restructure, like we talked about, create all that money. We can have 60, 70 million at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go get that dynamic running back and not worry about that position for a couple of years. And then just add around that and
take it easy, Joe. Appreciate you being
receiver
here.
Or go get a dynamic tight end. Don't bring back Schultz, but you know how they work. They don't want to go out and get a big free agent. That's why I say trade, because that doesn't have anything to do with draft compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Go make a trade for somebody. I don't know what you guys think about the guy in Miami. He may be a free agent. He was a bust in Miami, but help me out with the name. Who's the Miami tight end? Yeah, him. I'm talking about. Anyway, but like we need. I mean, like if we go out and get we're not getting Waller, but like if we go out and get a dynamite tight end.
And he's a free agent too.
Yeah, I think he is. So the Cowboys don't want to sign big free agents because then it takes away from what they're going to get in compensation for guys they lose.
Is it Mike Gesicki?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
He's not a blocker. I don't know that he fits into the mold that Mark's talking about, but I would rather trade. I would honestly rather trade for somebody or even trade player for player. Let's go trade player for player.
Yeah, he's more of an athletic tight end.
Yeah. Well, I think we got that and Hendershot. I think going forward, I think Peyton Hendershot can be Mike Gesicki all day. He's not the best blocker, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot to get into, but it'll be exciting. Hopefully, they surprise us though, because we need.
I'd rather
good,
get Odell, tag Pollard, draft an O-line first round, make your O-line great instead of good.
Nah.
Well, I think the tag number is about $10 billion, which would be cheaper and it's only a 1 year than it is, if you're looking at the $12 million a year. Although the difference being is if you do get him a long-term deal, you can make that first year because of the bonus money and stuff, dirt cheap and save money on the cap.
Hey, Asia Robertson, the Zoom is in the community tab.
Go in there and go and look in memberships.
And we're coming down the tail end stretch of the Senior Bowl. So are we going to watch the flag football tomorrow?
Queen Bella's in the house. What's up, Queen?
I'd be actually more excited than what the actual Pro Bowl is.
I might watch it. I've been low. Be honest with you, I was a little down. We lost the playoffs. I kind of lost interest after that. But
yeah, I was. Well, I remember last year at this time, I wasn't really doing much on YouTube, and I was really shutting off everything.
It's like I don't even really have any interest in watching the Super Bowl.
I know, man. It's rough. It's rough.
I'll still be doing it. It's interesting because there's rumors that the Raiders might be cutting Derek Carr before the Pro Bowl because if he gets hurt, they're on the chain for his contract, $40 million, and so they don't want him to get hurt. They're scared.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him to work out a trade with somebody, but if he gets injured tomorrow, they got to pay the man.
You shout out to Philadelphia, but the Tony Romo's problem was he didn't have a defense, man.
Yeah.
Remember the Denver game? Him and Peyton went touchdown for touchdown. It was
49 to 51.
Yeah, and we just didn't have a defense. We got a defense now. I got news for you. We would have gave you a way more of a game, than the Niners did with their third and fourth string quarterback. Dak, his record against the Eagles is 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out good for you.
Yep.
You of all people should want Dak to leave because he owns you.
I think that's why they're always like, Dak sucks, trade Dak. It's like, yeah, because you want to get rid of the guy who always kicks your ass.
Yeah,
it's true though.
I don't know why, but some just keep telling me that Derek Carr is going to the New York Jets for some crazy reason.
He'll go to Commanders, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two, yeah. I mean, he's going to get a job.
If I were a quarterback, the last place I would ever want to go is Washington. It's like going to the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, you don't take your sailboat through the Bermuda Triangle because that's where they disappear, and that's the Washington Commanders. It doesn't matter who you are.
Is it left hand up? Is that what it is?
Oh,
or right
man.
hand up?
Left hand. It's left hand up. Who are we? Quarterback killers.
Asia can't find it, Mark. She wants the Zoom link. It's in the community.
It's in the community tab. Yeah, that's where all you guys.
Like along the top, Asia, you'll see community. Click it, and then it's the first link down.
Hey, speaking of Washington, Mark and Brian, you probably know this, but do you remember when Washington bought their defense
Yep. Deion Sanders, all those guys.
Yes, that was so funny.
Listen, man, there's nothing wrong with buying every now and again. I think we could use a little of that.
They signed prime time after his prime.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that was an every year thing that they would always be signing a big name.
Usually an ex-Cowboy too. Didn't they take Roy Glover from us?
Yeah, Chris Canty.
I think they did.
They got Chris Canty from us too.
Mm-hmm.
They got Jason Hatcher.
Yeah, he went to the Giants. No, maybe.
And he got Super Bowl with the midgets.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. It was Jason Hatcher. Sorry, Jason Hatcher.
Hatcher. That's who I was thinking.
Because Hatcher, it was actually after Hatcher had 11 sack season.
And these were all great draft picks. They weren't high because Hatcher wasn't taken until like 5 or 6, round 6. But he was a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
And they overpaid for him because he didn't do much after that.
Right. Okay.
That's right, Rock Hatcher.
Are you guys live doing this, or are you recording?
The first one we're recording, I'm going to go live at 6:15.
Okay. All right.
All I just got to say
hours?
about the B. John Robinson thing is we all know that he's going early.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that.
Hope that he land with us. All I just got to say is if we don't get him, we should go after the Gibbs guy from Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's fine too. I had just made the point to Mark that if we stand pat and he drops to us, I was telling a guy on Twitter, I'm like, you have to run that card in. He's a generational talent. You cannot let him go by. Just like CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if we were into a market for a receiver at that time, but we had to take him. We had Amari at the time, remember? So
I just say let the chips fall where they need to fall, because every time we think we're going to get a player, we don't get him.
We don't. Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, I'm happy we got Micah Parsons, but no one really seen us getting Micah Parsons. And before that, everybody was wanting Jordan Davis. You knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, Jordan Davis, for what
Eagles
they paid, he's not a
So I just
to moved up to have gotten him.
That's what I mean. I wouldn't trade up for him, but if he's if he's a couple spots ahead of us, I might consider it. You don't have to give up much at that point. But if he falls to us,
right,
which he's a top 5 talent, I see a couple mocks where we get him. So, but I think as the draft gets closer, that's not going to happen. So, but I'm with you. I like Gibbs too. That's why I said, man, as much as I love Zeke and all, I think we move on from that. I want to keep it. I want to keep the guys I want to keep.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get that. If we're going to a West Coast, we need a top end, a tight end.
Yeah.
And we need another receiver. So. I see Philadelphia. He responded to me. Brian, if no from the eye tests, Dak
owns our backups.
Yeah. Well, he's won 8 games. So he's beat like backups 8 times. I mean, Dak came back and put up how many? 30-some against this vaulted defense. You couldn't stop him. Yeah, we couldn't stop him. Yeah, that's right. We scored 40.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the Eagles, they beat our back.
I'm not saying we would have beat you, Philadelphia. I'm already on record saying I liked you guys to win the game. I'm saying it was easier for you to play the Niners. Now, saying that, I still think the Niners shut you out in the first half until Bosa got clipped, not even playing in the game. He hurt his knee, and then you knocked out 2 of their quarterbacks. So, shout out to the Eagles. They're in the Super Bowl. We're not. I'm just telling you, Dak's record against the NFC East, not just the Eagles. He owns the East. Jalen Hurts don't own Dak, that's for sure.
All righty.
But I'm going to give the Eagles credit this year. They had a good year.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like I said, but when they keep coming on here, this fly Eagles fly crap, I mean, we already know.
It's well, they need validation.
They think of Roman Reigns, acknowledge me or something. I mean, it's like we know you had a good year.
Yeah, and I've gone out of my way to tell them that sometimes to the detriment because you're a Cowboy channel. Listen, I'm going to keep it real. They're in the Super Bowl. We're not.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So.
My thing about that is, I give Philadelphia credit. I do because they did something nobody else couldn't do. My thing is, let's see if you can follow that up next year.
Well, that's the thing. Philadelphia's going on and on about playoffs. Well, like coming into this year, Hurts hadn't won squat top.
Playoffs? Don't talk about
right.
Playoffs?
Come on now.
My thing is, follow that shit up. See what you can do next year because let's see, next year is going to be the challenge because for one, all 31 teams they're going to have film of you. 2, what you just did, it's going to be different. It's going to be different.
First place schedule.
You ain't going to be able to have 2 and 3 minute drives like you did last year, because all the other teams, like I said, they're gonna have film of you and they're gonna know what defenses to run against you.
Yeah.
Follow that up. If you can follow that up, if you can follow that up like you did this year, next year, you can have the utmost respect from me. But as of right now, not yet.
The DC Daddy, Brian, keep it real about Dak instead of lies from Mark's Free Food. Number one, when I go to Mark's, it's never free. It's a 3-hour drive for me. It ain't never free.
I tell you what, DC
listen,
Daddy,
you would do the same thing for the food, bro.
Bye. Just get the fuck out. Okay.
Well, we know who that is. So.
Yeah, just
bye, Felicia.
See you, Stan.
Damn.
You know,
I don't care about that.
Just
that don't bother
stupid
me.
Shit. I'm just sorry. You know, this is like little ass kids that think that they can just I just ruined. Man, just stop. Just stop.
Doesn't bother me.
It's the same stupid shit. Just get out. Get a life, because it matters.
I don't eat nowhere near as much as Zeke was eating when he was coming over.
You know what?
My man was putting the
It's
food
not
away.
like there is not a lack of food
away.
when I cook on. You know,
he was bringing plates.
You know what that is?
I didn't hardly eat that
I
much.
tell you what that is he wishes his ass was over here enjoying it. Okay? That's what that was. I'm just jealous because I'm not invited.
He didn't like the fact that I said Dak owns the NFC East. I'm not trying to be controversial. These are the numbers. Are we not looking at the numbers? Okay. Are we coming into the year that Jalen Hurts was, if he didn't do anything this year, he was gone. That's why he traded what they did. They were hoping to get a top 5 pick. They don't. They have a top 10 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts was on the way out after the last playoff game. He got embarrassed by Tom Brady. Literally embarrassed.
Okay,
then they went out and got him yet another weapon.
Vlad the Impaler, I tell you what. Okay, you've spammed the same thing a million times, okay? Yeah, then fine.
It's the same picture, too.
If you hate Dak Prescott or in the Cowboys, then you should be happy. So you know what?
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
I don't remember asking you a guy.
Okay,
Mark's got an itchy
I'm tired of stupid ass jackasses up on here. Okay? If fine. My quarterback had some issues throwing to garbage ass receivers with a sorry ass play caller, with an owner who doesn't believe that the Cowboys should actually get weapons. Thank you very much. If you're going to come in here and
they took a weapon away going into the season, Vlad. They took a weapon away. They actually didn't want. It's almost like they resented giving Dak a big contract. They were like, all right, fine. We gave you the money. You're going to have to win because $40 million quarterbacks win. Okay, so we had CeeDee Lamb, who was an unproven one coming into the year. Now, he proved it, but it would have been a lot easier with Amari Cooper on the other side.
You know, that
would have been
that reminds me of, I remember of the wrestling coach had told us a story, because this was funny, because he said that there was this young guy, he saw this parking space and he saw another car coming in there. It's a young guy with an old woman in there, and he said he zoomed into there to cut her off to take the parking space, and he said that's what you get when you're young and quick. And she took her Mercedes and slammed it in the back of the car, and she said that's what you get when you're young and rich. And you just hit the nail on the head, because the Joneses, I don't think, like the fact that Dak Prescott got that deal, that they were trying to sign him the year before, get him to take this deal that they wanted him to take, and put the clause and all that stuff in there, and they've resented that fact, and they're rich enough, and it wasn't going to lose them anything to screw Dak over to let him know, you know what, we own your ass. That's what you get when you're old and rich. Am I crazy or just plain stupid? Brian, you're muted. You're muted, Brian.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I do that from time to time because I got shit going on around me. Yeah, I agree with you.
Is Aisha in here? Did Aisha come in?
No.
Somebody said I'm ignoring Aisha. Alan, I haven't seen her in here.
If she's on her cell phone, she's not going to be able to get in.
Okay.
I don't know that she is on her cell. She has to go on.
And then she asks for the links. You have to go to the community tab if you're a channel member, and I know Aisha is, to click on it. You're right, Alan. They had a good record, but wasn't good enough. Okay. Well, we're almost.
Is it you guys? I mean, we always, I think, ad nauseum, like we're giving credit to the Eagles. Now, they haven't won anything yet. Because nobody cares about the loser in the Super Bowl. So they haven't won shit yet. But we've gone overboard of saying they did what they needed to do in the offseason to help their quarterback.
Yep.
And you see how it helps you. So what else do we got to do? So, I mean, do you want to
Howie
win?
Roseman, he must have heard what Philly 500 said that one time when Philly 500 was going to fire him. So he was like, oh, snap.
I'd fire his ass.
And listen, there you go. It's, you try and pronounce that.
But it's Kid Mega. Shout out to Kid Mega. He's been a channel member for 14 months. West up, Mike. West up, Mark. West up. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
Who does Dallas play this week? I think they play the Sisters of the Poor.
That's it.
Swollen City Fitness. Shout out to the corniness.
Everybody.
Like
Illuminati. Everybody hit that dislike button. Okay. All right, Stan. You know what?
Yeah, he's in here, man. He's all over the place.
How about Stan?
Must be.
There you go. How
Must
about
be boring out in Cali.
Uh-oh. It's Vado in the house.
Where's Vado at?
Illuminati, boy, please. Peace out.
Uh-oh, Vado.
Aisha, community tab. If you go to the homepage, and over there on the bottom, it'll say community.
Hold on.
Click on community, and it's the second post that's in there. Oh, you know what, Queen? I blocked his ass. I blocked his ass, okay? Let me be clear. I blocked your ass. Go ahead and make another profile and come back in. And guess what? I'm going to block your ass again, okay? Go ahead. Try me. We got 1 minute left to the game, and then we're going to get out of here. Michael Anthony Fitness Reaction Gig Economy along with Rashid are going to be doing some work down in here, and I got to go cook some tacos for dinner.
Hey, Veda, you got to say your thing to the Eagles while we got you on.
Okay. Michael Martinez is coming in.
Vado is unmuted.
Vado?
He's muted. He's muted.
Hey, Vado, say what you want to say to the Eagles.
Vado, what's up, Vado? Long time no see, bro. Where are you, Vado? How you doing, man?
Good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Vado, you are a lot clearer than normal today.
My good game.
Uh-huh.
Having a good game.
You're having a great day. Forgive me. I have a lot of times I have a hard time understanding you. I don't know what you did today. I hope you have a lot more of those.
Yeah, Phil's normally the guy that can pick it right up. We always go to Phil, but I missed you, buddy.
Yeah, we missed you.
Well, hello, Vado. Man, we missed you, bro.
I'm glad you're doing good, man. I haven't talked to what's his name in a while. He wasn't doing too hot. Who am I thinking of, Mark?
Oh my God! I've got. I gave him the first. He got the first Joe Blueprint, which was the reverse negative.
Let me look him up because I have him on my.
Troy Daniels.
Yes, Troy
Daniels.
That's what I told Mark a while ago. He's bad with names, but I forget a lot after I had a bad accident.
Another stupid throw. Stupid throw.
Yeah, that was
a bad throw.
Bad. But yeah, Troy Daniels. He was having multiple surgeries. So if you're watching Troy, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're coming down the end. The national team kicked ass.
Did I hear where T.O. is going to play in the XFL? Is that confirmed or was that just?
I hadn't heard that.
That would have been fun. I thought I heard him say.
I'm really thinking about going to the first game this season in DC.
You got to be a DC fan. You're gonna have your left hand up.
I'm just saying. No, the fact that I can say I went to, me and the crew, we all went. It was cold. It was before.
I didn't make it.
I mean, it was different because the rules were different. The stadium is actually really cool. It's a very intimate stadium. It only seats about 20,000 people. And if it wasn't cold, it would have been a great time. And, what else we got to do? Football season's over.
No? Hey, Mark, this, if you notice, it's the same logo. It's the same picture. Yeah. This Swollen City Fitness. So I don't know.
Swollen City.
Going on. I feel like I keep seeing the same picture. So
okay.
I don't know, but whatever. It might be Stan, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's getting desperate to try and get under my skin.
I don't know who it is, but it doesn't bother me. Good luck in the Super Bowl. What does that do? Okay, you won it. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, the game is over. And I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to let Michael Anthony Fitness Reaction and the stinking Giant fan that you can see right there through the light is they're going to be doing some wrestling work. And then later on, we are going to have the Rope-A-Dope. I'm going to tease that a little bit. The Rope-A-Dope interview. Okay. And it will definitely piss off Stan. Yes, Stan. You're going to like your mind is going to explode because of it. But it's all good because that's what we do here. All right. Final words, everybody? Comments?
Stay tuned. I know tomorrow me and Phil are going on. I think it's 4:00, maybe 5:00, but I'll.
You mean during the Pro Bowl? The flag football game? Fuck the Eagles.
Are you live streaming?
Oh, okay.
It's not a game. It's not a game.
It's not a game. It's not the game that we love.
It's practice.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see. What are they playing? Lawn jarts or something?
Wait a minute. You telling me?
You play to win the game.
You told me? Hello?
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports.
Asia wants in.
You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win.
We're leaving now anyway.
When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
Aisha, I don't know why you're having such a hard time getting in.
Well,
it's just like you click
she can get in. We're all heading out.
But yeah,
she gave up. We'll have to get her on early next time. Help her out.
Right, and I may do something tomorrow earlier in the day too. You're going on at 4.
I don't know. Phil's so busy. He's just very busy. I said, well, do it earlier. So just keep a lookout.